Because, I mean, we used to put so much into summer as kids, and summer lasted forever. Obviously, the younger you are, it seems like, 3 months is 3 months. But, we would get out, and I've said this a million times, Memorial Day weekend, and we would go back Labor Day weekend, and it's so abbreviated. They really get roughly 10 weeks of summer, and, half of that's gone, which kind of sucks. But, yeah, 4th of July next weekend. I mean, the good news for football fans is, what are we – less than 5 weeks away from the Hall of Fame game?
58 days from week 0
like
in college football. Yeah. And we're basically a month away, August 1st, from that Hall of Fame game coming up. And that gets me into the conversation. Do y'all remember, like even when I wasn't a young man when I started doing radio with Brownie. It seemed like from the end of college football to the start of college football, lasted forever.
Oh, no doubt.
The shows that we would have to do to fill the time from the last game to the next game. It felt like it was 1,000 shows we had to do.
I know. And this so weird you brought that up. I was thinking it today because I peeked ahead at our 3 teams next week in our 40 and 40.
Don't let them have the bag.
I won't. We're whittling down who they can be. We hit the top 10 today. But I was looking ahead to next week, and it just made me think. I was looking at the dates, and I'm like, man, once we get past those, it's almost season time. And, I mean, that is exciting to me on the one hand, but I'm like Lance. My little one loves her summer, and, she'll be back in school before you know it, and I hate that for her.
Yeah, this is really – so Memorial Day through Christmas, or really through New Year's Eve, is like the incredible time. And then after that – outside of March Madness, I could take or leave winter and spring.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, though.
You should be a bear.
Yeah, just hibernate.
Just hibernate. Yeah. Imagine how much better your life would be if you just went to sleep at the.
I can't sleep though.
But if you're a bear, you could.
I don't know, man. I was up 50 times last night.
So Monday after Super Bowl,
and I would be a grouchy bear, not being able to sleep.
Oh, you'd kill somebody.
And then hungry because I get up in the middle of the night to eat.
Monday after Super Bowl until Memorial Day, that would be your hibernation period.
Yeah. Would you sleep through the NCAA tournament, or would that be your start of your hibernation?
I'd probably get up. That'd be when I gather food.
Yeah.
Wake up, take one final nap.
Wake up, stretch. See who's in the Final Four. Alabama's in the Final Four.
But I know Jim's favorite season is summer. I get that for kids. Like for what we do though, and with the change of seasons and everything, and it's one of the few change of seasons we get in state. I don't know how you beat fall.
It's hard to beat. It is hard to beat. Now, for one, I know everybody's complaining about the heat around here this summer. We're hitting 100 degrees already.
I love it.
I, for one, love that.
I do, too.
Like, I don't mind getting out and playing golf. I played golf on a 100-degree day already this year, and it just really does not bother me. I
don't
enjoy
know how you guys do that.
It's just, it's
not like there was a person behind us, a single, when I played Tuesday.
Yeah.
And it was a legit 100 degrees was the high here in Birmingham. And we were a foursome. There was a legit one person walking with a bag behind us for 18 holes, and it was a woman. But she had a pull cart.
Okay.
But she's walking, and I was thinking to myself, and she was keeping up with us.
Yeah.
And I was like, should we let her play through? And she never got where she was close to us. She'd stand in the shade, but she was dressed like a beekeeper.
Yeah, you see a lot of people with the sleeves, so they don't get sunburned.
She had a hat around her, like she was making honey on the golf course.
I saw a guy the other day. I was out at Ballantrae, and he was walking to the first tee, pull cart with pants, the sleeves, and the hat. And I'm like, man, I get it. You're trying to walk to get some exercise, but boy, that looks hot. Dude, now, I'm out there in shorts and a golf shirt, and I'm loving it. But boy, in that outfit, no thank you.
Let me tell you, your reputation at Ballantrae, they mentioned you as I was going to number one. Brown's out here all the time. He just doesn't play. He just goes to the driving range.
Yeah, it's therapy for me.
And they were like, "Do you need to go to the driving range?" I was like, "Oh no, that's miserable to me. I don't even take a practice."
But you'll do the driving range at 100 degrees?
Oh heck yeah!
Apparently, that's all he does is go there and driving range. He doesn't even play around. He just does the driving range.
How you get better? I like to go out there and sweat and just be in the sun, and it's therapy, man. Nobody's bothering me out there. It's nice and quiet. Because if you go to the driving range, Lance, when it's 100 degrees, you know what else is not out there? Other people.
Yeah,
I'm out there by myself.
True. I mean, I finally drove by the pickleball courts that they built at Veterans Park, and yesterday there was not one person on them.
I'll tell you what I like doing even better is going back to that practice screen for the short game area, turning my Bluetooth speaker on.
I don't know why they don't have.
Why
don't they just have sprinklers going?
and just soak me down?
Well, I mean, just on the golf courses out there. I mean, they like to water the grass anyway. Yeah, misters.
Yeah, just some misters. Yeah. Two things. One, my analogy of going to the driving range and not playing after you've hit a few balls is it's like a strip club. Why would you go to a strip club? You know, what are you doing at the strip club except watching? Driving range, you're just going, you're hitting balls. You're gonna get no joy of actually playing the game.
I have heard some people say that strip clubs are therapeutic as well.
Yes, so. I really think it's a terrible comparison, Jim.
And this is not going to shock you, LT. So what did the starter also tell me about Brown?
That Brown throws his club on the driving range.
I've never done that. That's ridiculous. I can't believe you've held on to that one thing Dunaway said one time, and you bring it up all the time.
Remember our boy who didn't pay for his ticket because there was nobody there? He would just walk into the movie.
I mean, they didn't have anybody taking tickets. I went and bought concessions.
I was like,
so does he get free buckets of balls?
I was like, so Brown sits there and he just hits golf balls and leaves? He's like, yeah, you know, he loves to get outside of where we have the driving range set up. He'll hit outside on the grass that we're trying to grow back. He'll go down there.
That's overstated. Again,
you do that at
consider
Canterbury,
the
right?
What the starter said.
What church is it?
Asbury. I chip on there. I mean, it's not nice grass at Asbury. It's just grass. But I chip there. Well, it's not.
My church.
Well, I mean, it's not Augusta National, Jim.
I wouldn't go to your church and say anything negative about it.
Would you chip in your front yard?
I'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he was like, you know, he will scoot down past the last marker.
No, I absolutely do that. I find the good grass. Trust me. That nobody has disturbed.
All right, we're ready to go.
I am not going to deny that.
Some college football here. The first hour, then part of this show being brought to you by lanceslock.com. Hemp Hill Services bring you lanceslock.com here on the show. You want that air conditioning working top speed this time of year for sure.
229-2090. That is the number you need to call. Trust the number Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Whether you experience any of these issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew. The guys there had to make that call last week for somebody. But how about this? They were supposed to get a new AC unit. It had been 26 years old. They thought for sure they were getting that. Our friends at Hemp Hill came out and they were like, you don't need a new AC unit. You need a capacitor. That's all we're putting on this. That's the kind of work they do. There's other places that would have probably jammed them up, tried to get them a full new unit, made them spend thousands of dollars. Instead, they spent pocket change compared to that. That is the work our friends do. 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. HempHillServices.com.
And I assume at lanceslock.com it is baseball until we get to NFL preseason, right?
Yeah. Rough night last night, 1-4. Again, marathon, not a sprint. We were 8-3 on the week coming into last night. Had a little setback, but we've got more winners available today at lanceslock.com.
And still ahead for the week there at lanceslock.com. Upsets yesterday in sports. I joked with Brown before the show started. I said, hey, Kirby's got Georgia in a big game on Fox today. Georgia, the country, playing in the Euros, was the lowest seeded team in the Euros. Not the biggest upset yesterday. That's coming up. But they were the lowest seeded team in the Euros in soccer yesterday. I think they were 74th, and they beat number 6 Portugal 2-0. And by all measurements, they are calling this the biggest upset in the Euros tournament history.
Is this a 15-2 first-round upset, basically, in the NCAA tournament? Is that what this would be?
They were making it sound like 16-1.
16-1? Okay.
16-1. They were making it sound like Stanford and Harbaugh going in and beating Pete Carroll USC.
Yeah, I mean, if it's going to be the biggest of all time, it's got to be 16-1.
Okay.
Yeah, biggest of all time.
Now, the Euros
is the best teams in Europe.
Best team in Europe. Okay, go ahead.
And they do a tournament. Yeah. They're to the knockout range now, 16-1. Patrick says Georgia, the country, probably told their players they were going to go 7-5, and they were motivated yesterday.
That's right. Everybody say we're going 7-5 this year.
Huge upset there, but not the biggest upset I saw. Brown, I'm going to need you to do your quick Google here because I've got no details. I only saw a graphic.
Google it.
And I don't see how this happens.
Yep.
In the under-20 world champions of American tackle football, so international American tackle football, Japan beat the United States yesterday 41-20. Now, in our sport, here's the scoreboard. World Championships of tackle football, the American game, Japan, dressed like Wisconsin in that photo, beat the Americans 41-20. What is this, the end times? Is this Revelations? We're letting other countries beat us in football? Do we need a dream team? Do we need to sign up Ryan Williams and all the great recruits of the SEC, a little juju, and head over there and take on Japan?
I mean, I don't know what the roster looks like, or we have the NFL veterans package is so bad, the benefits, how the NFL doesn't take care of them. Do you think it's like, we're going to go play Japan, if we're able to win this game, you give us better benefits, and we've got a bunch of 60, 70-year-old ex-NFL guys playing? I haven't seen the roster.
To me, we should be able to just take Thompson or Patrick Nix's team that won the state championship and roll and beat them, right?
Guarantee you, yeah. Well, one of those teams could beat this Japan team.
Based on what I can find very quickly, I was not prepared to discuss this on the show today. Apparently, the starting quarterback for the United States team is a kid named Anthony Luna, who is a upcoming high school senior and is committed to play at D3 Bethany College in West Virginia.
Oh, so we're not even doing it right. We're not even trying.
No.
Hey, so we've got 17-year-olds out there.
Yeah.
Why? It's the under 20, so you've got to be under 20, but we don't have we don't even field the team like we do the Alabama Mississippi All-Star game.
Why don't we send IMG like we did in 92 with the Dream Team and just make a statement and be done with it?
Because nobody knows this thing exists. Were you aware they were playing? Yes. They would make a statement. Nobody even knows they're playing.
I'm just saying, if we're going to lose, though, at our sport, we need to change who we're sending.
Okay. I would love for Ryan Williams to go play in this and tear an ACL and see your reaction. Are you kidding me? Ryan Williams?
Do we think anybody...
Cam Coleman?
Yeah, what's Bethany College going to do without Anthony Luna?
Probably go 0-10.
Yeah. But I'm asking you, though, I mean, do we think they would even get anywhere close to Ryan Williams to blow out an ACL?
Probably not, but you've seen guys in open field just make a cut. Not Jamison Williams.
Do you think Tyreek Hill would score a touchdown?
Tyreek Hill would score every time he touched it. As a Dolphins fan, I don't want him anywhere near this event.
We need to pin a letter.
It would be a non-contact, wouldn't it?
He would not get touched.
America, pin a letter to Shannon Terry. Let him sponsor On3 Sports, sponsor the team next year, and let's send some of the best of the best. I mean, just the guys by the pool that you hung out with, LT.
Oh, no, those guys
would have blitzed this team.
I mean, those guys could probably beat, most MAC teams if you put them together if you gave them a season.
Now, Lunceford seems to have some information on this.
Where is Lunceford?
Yeah.
He is currently in traffic right now.
Okay. Traffic was bad coming in.
But listening on the app or watching on YouTube.
He said on the app that Japan plays a full team of Ivy League players once a year in its competitive game.
Oh, wow. So Japan takes on the Ivy.
It appears.
I mean, look, the Ivy League, the good thing about that, you don't see a lot of transfer guys.
You don't.
So those guys stay together for a long time.
And about one a year now from the Ivy seem to make it to the NFL.
Yeah.
I again, not going to get wound up about this. Was unaware it even existed.
I think Superman Dean Cain was an Ivy Leaguer, wasn't he?
I think so.
If not, he should be.
Yeah. It's our sport. There is not a country in this world that thinks if we didn't play our best 11 versus their best 11, it wouldn't be 1,000-0.
Okay.
There's not a country that believes that. Like even. Is our old boy Kim Jong-un, is he still alive, the guy that makes everything up?
Oh, yeah. He's the one. Yeah, Kim Jong-un is still alive.
Yeah, he's the one that makes all that stuff up.
But these countries should be so behind. I'll give you an example. I mean, we've seen a lot of good Canadian baseball players come through, right? Yeah. So every spring break, we had to travel to St. Petersburg to play different teams from around the country. And it was our spring training, but there was always a couple of teams from Canada that came down, and they were awful because they had just picked up baseball.
Yeah, and it's nice and cold up there.
This is in the late 80s, early 90s, and they were absolutely awful. I mean, so I don't know how overnight Japan could become decent at football.
I mean, just put the graphic up again. You just look at the scoreboard, Brown, and tell me you're okay with this. You say it's not important.
I'm fine with it.
You're not important. You're going to see the American flag.
Yeah.
On a day with debates tonight,
yes.
You're going to see the American flag 21 points behind Japan in our sport.
Yes, I'm fine with that. Yes.
That's embarrassing.
That's embarrassing. I'm fine with it.
If we're gonna wear the uniform, let's win.
I mean, this is the silliest thing. You want actual players that are going to compete in college or the NFL to go play in this thing and risk injury?
Apparently, we don't have to go too far up. Let's go D2 guys.
Well, where was the game in Japan?
It was at Commonwealth Stadium. I assume it's not the one in Kentucky.
Got the summer available, doesn't she?
I mean, Caitlin Clark.
She's not on the national team.
Yeah. Caitlin Clark could have played in this and probably won.
Yes.
Yeah. Bronny James is under 20. He didn't get drafted last night. We put him at wideout.
Yeah.
I can't believe that's going to be a whole other story for today.
I don't get Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was watching. We were at Odie's last night. I was doing trivia with Lance, and the Lakers fit came up when they picked Connect.
Oh, and who did I tell you I wanted?
Lance said they showed Dalton Connect. And Lance said, that's the guy I want. He's still on the board.
Well, I texted you guys. I was like, God, that seemed to me. I don't follow. I watch college basketball. Unlike the squadron head coach who was here yesterday, but I don't follow the NBA enough. But when I watched Connect all year long, I was like, this guy in space. I mean, it looks like he's made for the NBA. and then he goes 17th to the Lakers. I almost thought it was fixed.
Well, yeah, there was no way. I saw him as high as 5 or 6 in some mock drafts. He was not supposed to fall out of the lottery, but the knocks on Connect were he's 23 years old, which is amazing today. 23 is old coming into the draft.
I lie about my age. You got to lie about your age at 23.
And the other knock was his inability to play consistent defense, which, I think that's something with effort, his athleticism, he's going to learn. But you saw in the war room how pumped Rob Pelinka and J.J. Redick were. I mean, that's one of those that falls in your lap.
Because you would imagine with LeBron on the floor, Anthony Davis on the floor, there's a little space for Connect to move around, right?
Yeah, he'll find some shots.
And that's what I told Brown last night. I was with LeBron and AD out there, Connect is, and Austin Reeves. I mean, I don't think Connect's going to be the piece that leads them into making noise in the postseason, but he could be a long-time, really, really good player.
Now, what I wanted to happen was them to draft Bronny James just to see Lance.
Well, I said it last night on the mic. If they draft Bronny James in the first round, I'm done with them. It's so pathetic, and this is just the influence of LeBron James and probably, ESPN wanting people to tune in for this second round. They've got their best players available, and conveniently, they only list 25. Bronny James is number 25. Like, they want to keep him in the conversation.
Right. They couldn't stop at top 20, right?
And it looks like by these Vegas odds right now, I think he's like minus 180 to go to the Lakers today. If the Lakers didn't touch him, nobody would draft him. The Lakers look like they're going to take Bronny James, and that is a complete joke.
Well, can I just say, though?
3 o'clock today on ESPN, it starts up again.
Your Dodgers drafted one of their great players of all time as a favorite of somebody.
Yeah, but that was in the 68th round.
I know, but there's only 2 rounds.
Tommy Lasorda's godson.
This is the 68th round in the NBA draft. There's only 2 rounds.
I get what you're saying. The story. Was it Jerry Reisdorf that drafted his daughter or something? I really think it was.
You've got too many rounds.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, I swear. I think Reisdorf, and I think that's when they really started to shorten the draft. He drafted his daughter.
Yeah, that sounds right, though.
Yeah, she can start this year for you guys.
When you've got too many rounds, when they start drafting daughters or just making picks.
Yeah, that was one of those, hey, let him play single A ball, tell his grandkids that he played professional ball. They had no idea Mike Piazza was going to turn into that. Bronny James at 6'2", I would be blown away if he is ever a factor in the NBA.
No, I don't think he will be either. I'm just saying a second-round NBA pick is not a throwaway by any stretch for the G League now. It used to be a little bit more of a throwaway because it was a guy that was going to have to come to camp and try to find a roster spot. Probably wasn't going to do it and go play in Europe. But the G League now, the second round is a little bit different. I mean, you're not just throwing that pick away. That guy is either going to make your NBA roster or he's going to be in your G League team or you're going to use him in a trade somewhere.
But here's the thing about preferential treatment. There is no way Bronny's going to play in the G League.
You don't even think he'll play in the G League?
No, I think they would refuse to.
Who would refuse? Oh, the James family would refuse for him to play in the G League,
so
you think?
They'll put him on the end of the bench.
I think they'll put him on the end of the bench.
So he'll eat up a roster spot?
I think he will eat up a roster spot. I think it will be with L.A. next year.
Who's LA's G League team? Do you know?
They play in the Lakers practice facility. I watched one of the games there when the squadron was playing them.
Yeah. Oh, so they play in LA.
Yeah.
So T.J. Saint was in with us yesterday.
Right.
And looking at their roster, and I forgot how deep their roster is. It might be 13, it might be 15. But only 2 guys were drafted on their roster, and both second-round guys. So most of the guys are undrafted anyway.
Yeah. So you don't think there's any way Bronny even plays a G League game?
I would be shocked.
South Bay Lakers, by the way, the name
they
of the
play
team.
in the summer league, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, even the Stars play in the summer league.
Yeah. So that's Bronny James. By the way, Connect dropping out of the lottery to the Lakers cost him $16 million in his first 4 years on his contract.
But if Lance is right and he has the type of career you think he can have, he'll make that $16 million back.
I think he's going to be fine. I mean, that sucks initially, though.
It does.
That's a lot of money.
So, yes, we're all...
And he's got to pay for that. I don't know what the hell he was wearing on his neck. Rockstar, I don't know if you can find that. It looked heavy, though.
While you're finding...
Chains get heavier and heavier.
While you find the Dalton Connect jewelry from last night, Zach Edey went 9th to the Grizzlies.
Everybody's talking about, the pick and roll with John Morant and how good this thing can be, and Edey's got the 7'11" wingspan. He has got a ton of experience, no doubt about it. I just don't know, like if his footwork gets a little bit better, he can stretch it out and hit some 12 to 15 footers. Maybe he ends up being good. I mean, he's a massive body, and he's going to be able to rebound. I just don't know about the quickness in today's game, and I just think you're getting a lot of guys coming at him. I think he gets in foul trouble early, and I think initially he's like a 10-6, 10-7 guy, and I don't know how good he gets.
I saw him play 2 games at the Final Four when we were there. And he is a force, obviously, but he is so slow moving. Just watching him move up and down the floor, and after a made bucket, or even after the ball's gone out of bounds, his movement to get to the other end, it looks like he's laboring just to go to the other end of the floor. Yeah.
There is it just a DK, I guess?
I guess that's DK for Dalton Connect, huh? Yeah.
But, Brown and I were talking about this. To go from northern Colorado and within 2 years to be drafted almost in the lottery by the Lakers is pretty insane. But, the guy was only 5'8" as a high school sophomore.
Yeah, I mean, y'all were talking about him losing $16 million. The other side of that is 2 years ago, he was not even a first-team all-conference player at northern Colorado.
Yeah, I mean, he was probably trying to figure out, and it's like, am I going to be good enough to go to Europe or play overseas somewhere?
I mean, pharmaceutical sales is awful appealing here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what he was thinking about. Now he's an LA Laker. I mean, so the guy, his meteoric rise is incredible.
Yeah, you're right. Bank accounts are like cups, half empty, half full, depending on how you look at it.
Can't lose what you never had. Yes. He never had that $16 million. That you got to look at it that way if you're him. I know it's easy for me to say it ain't my money, but I mean, his first contract with the Lakers is going to be how much a year? Would you guess?
I don't know where it's slotted. I mean, he's a multi-millionaire.
Yeah, he's a multi-millionaire. 2 years ago, nobody knew this guy existed at northern Colorado.
Yeah, and I guarantee you, he's probably. I think his family, his agents are probably more concerned with him dropping out and losing that $16 million. He's probably like, dude, I'm about to play with LeBron James.
I'm playing with LeBron. I was in northern Colorado, guys.
I am going to be playing at crypto. I am going to be playing for what most believe is the greatest organization in all sports.
Both Jameses. Yes.
Yeah, he may have to room with Bronny in the summer league games. Dalton Connect there, the 17th overall pick, judged by Bleacher Report to be A+, the best pick in the first round. Graded a D as the worst pick in the first round was the Memphis Grizzlies with Zach Edey.
Yeah.
So, those were the extremes.
Yeah, I thought the Timberwolves, though, getting Rob Dillingham with the trade with San Antonio, at number 8, I think, and then to get Terrence, because I told you the other guy I wanted was Terrence Shannon Jr.
You did tell me that.
We talked about him in the postseason in the NCAA tournament. I think he's a fantastic player. Now, the problem was, had the accusations of the rape. He got exonerated a couple of weeks ago. So he was kind of toxic. A lot of people didn't want to touch him. That's why he falls to the very end of the first round. But the T-Wolves already making noise in the postseason with what they've got with Anthony Edwards, what they've got with Cat, what they've got with Rudy Gobert, and now you add Dillingham, who is going to be a scorer, and then you pull in a Terrence Shannon Jr., who could be actually the dark horse of this entire draft. I mean, watch out for the T-Wolves. They're putting it together.
I didn't see my Knicks. Was there anybody from Villanova they drafted last night? Because that's apparently all they want on their roster. I liked Klingon going from the national champs to Portland. I thought that was a pretty good pick from the Trailblazers. NBA draft continues today. We'll jump into the college football after LT tells us about Dr. B, what Dr. B has done for him and what Dr. B is doing for Ryan Brown as we say. It silently is helping Ryan Brown as we speak.
Silent.
I squeezed out my final treatment of the week last night before trivia. Again, I'm doing that non-invasive treatment 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time. That is all I'm doing. My hair has more than doubled in thickness over the last couple of years. T3hair.net for more information. If you're starting to thin out, you know somebody that's thinning out, get preemptive. Dr. Beckett Steen, best in the business for more than 20 years. Women and men have turned to Dr. B for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use that experience, his advanced training, and genetic testing to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. Call Dr. B today, 205-319-0316. That's 205-319-0316 or T3hair.net.
Everything Alabama, all the time. Subscribe and set alerts at Roll Tide Pods on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late-night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
Hey, you. Summer's here. Time to get hot. And at New Balance Birmingham, that's just what we got. For a summertime vibe, see what's inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
You never know what we're up to here at the Next Round. The easiest way to stay in the know with our antics and adventures is to follow the Next Round across all social media platforms at Next Round Live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Whether it's Dunaway sleeping in the studio, Tim and Lunceford breaking down the latest movie release, or Game Day Chronicles, we are here to keep you updated on the latest sports news while, of course, having just a little bit of fun. Follow at Next Round Live across all platforms to join in.
Always a lot of great content that you may have missed when we originally put it out, like Last Call with LT and Kristen Saban. If you did not see that first go around, still available for you. And maybe we can put it back into the cycle again for you guys. This is the Last Call logo there you see, and LT had to sit down with Kristen Saban. It looks something like that. You can go back and see that. Since that interview, she has been fantastic on social media.
Where you think Lance unlocked her social media acumen? Is that what you're saying?
Was there a sighting last night, Brown?
I did see Kristen Saban last night.
She was at trivia?
She was at trivia, yes. We talked to, had a chance to catch up with her a little bit. I think she's going to come back up here and visit us one day. She had a good time. She told me. Because I was not here the day that was recorded. I can't remember where I was. Was I on vacation or had to leave?
I think it was your vacation.
And she just told me, she said, man, that was so much fun. I've gotten so much good feedback on it, and I want to come back up and see you guys again. I was like, you come anytime. You got a standing invite. She was there with a friend of hers that was celebrating her birthday, so they celebrated the birthday at Odie's Trivia to hear Rockstar sing songs.
So
I had a friend, when they walked in, her friend screamed the first answer to the first question.
Yes, yeah.
Just screamed it.
It was a little...
cut number 5, Rockstar. So since LT, she's really got a little bit more active again on social media. And last night, very funny on her TikTok. You do a lot of voiceovers on TikTok. This was hilarious last night. 2 of them. She dropped out. Here's Kristen.
Do you think this was pre or post trivia?
I don't know. I was about to say she had a busy night last night. All right.
Kristen Saban on TikTok. A couple of her dad's great moments.
Saban, you said that Devontae's...
I can't hear you.
You said that they were going to... Can you hear me now? No?
What?
You said that they would try and take away Devontae Smith. Why have they not been able to do that?
Come on, Julio, let's go. Come on, break on the ball. You got one guy breaking on the ball. No, Terrell, run the route again. Damn it, it's cut. You don't have anybody to deflect. And I'm going to tell you what.
That's pretty funny.
I mean, actually, like the mannerisms.
I know. I just know this. Yes.
Like, well documented. She's adopted, but the mannerisms, I mean, it's spot on Saban, right?
That was actually really good. I didn't know what you were about to show us, but that was very good.
The show being brought.
She's got some old school Alabama gear, too.
She does, doesn't she? Yeah.
We did, was it E.G. with us at SEC
Yeah,
Championship.
EG did a What You Wearing or whatever it was, Outfit of the Day, whatever the crap it's called.
And she named the places over in Tuscaloosa where she gets the throwback gear. I can't remember the name of it. You can go back and check that also on our social media platform. New York Butcher Shop bringing you that little flash into social media world from last night on TikTok.
So we are 1 week away from the 4th of July, and if you're entertaining, you're going somewhere, you need to take food, you need to have food. How about the Boston butt sale going on from our friends at the New York Butcher Shop? $42.99. You get it fully cooked, hickory smoked, reservations only. You can pick it up July 2nd, July 3rd, even on the 4th up until 3 o'clock. 2 locations for you, the original in Cahaba Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. Call this in today. Either location, Cahaba Heights or Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service, $42.99. Fully cooked, hickory smoked, Boston butt sale. They've also got homemade brats. They've got those hand-patted burgers. They've got everything you need for your 4th of July celebration.
I did it for Memorial Day, and it was fantastic. So it was terrific. You can do that coming up for this holiday as well, Brownie.
I don't know how long this will last, but I saw it on social media this morning, so I was going to tell Auburn fans if they want to jump on it while it lasts, you can go get a 4-pack of tickets to all Auburn home games except for Oklahoma and a parking pass right now at auburntigers.com. They're releasing those today, so if you're an Auburn fan, you want to jump on it.
So 4 packs.
4 packs, yeah. 4-pack of tickets to, and I'm making sure that's for every game. Yeah, it's 4 tickets and a parking pass. You have to buy them in a group of 4. You can't split this up. For Alabama A&M, Cal, New Mexico, Arkansas, Vandy, ULM, and Texas A&M. The only one you don't buy is Oklahoma, apparently a sold-out game. I'm guessing these are – it's a little too early for visitor returns, isn't it?
I would think, yeah, way too early.
It's not, but those are not – I will say this, and this is pretty crappy because they won't divide Georgia and Alabama back up, but that may be the worst Auburn home schedule I can remember. Is that fair?
Oklahoma and Texas A&M are pretty good, but I mean, Arkansas, Vandy, ULM, New Mexico, Cal, and Alabama A&M aren't going to do a whole lot for me. Now, some of that's on Auburn. That's a crappy out-of-conference schedule.
Well, I mean, Cal, you never know what Cal's going to be when you schedule that game, and it was a fun trip out there last year. But if you take Oklahoma out of the mix, okay, then Texas A&M, that's why Georgia and Alabama needs to be split back up. Whatever has to happen, and you've told me before that Auburn has said we will go back-to-back to Athens to get this back right. They need to split that back up to have one of your marquee rivalry games at home every year. The fact that both of them are on the road every other year is just crap. And I also, while we're talking schedules, I don't like the way that they are not home again for any of October, right?
Yep.
From week 4 when they play host to Oklahoma in that game. And by the way, you're not going to put that in a sales package because Oklahoma is going to buy up every ticket they can. First road game in the SEC. They want to experience the SEC. Then after that, you're at Georgia, at Missouri, at Kentucky. You don't come back. You don't play a single October home game. The best weather in the state. That's a crappy deal of a schedule for Auburn.
But I'll say this, too. Auburn's got to step up their non-conference. Their non-conference is not great on that schedule, and all they have, unless I'm missing something, all they have scheduled in the future non-conference is an upcoming home-and-home with Baylor starting next year, a home-and-home with UCLA starting in 2027, and a home-and-home with Miami. That is it.
Yeah, back in the day, you had the USC home and home. You had the Kansas State home and home. Even that South Florida game out of conference was a fun game.
Much more than you wanted out of that one.
Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
I mean, you had some pretty good.
Truthfully, Pat Dye scheduled too hard in the 80s.
Well, probably did,
with Texas and Florida State. But, Cal for a minute was a decent team.
Yeah.
Cal was one of those where I think, honestly, if you're an Auburn fan, you would have rather just gone out there and not have them come back here.
Yeah.
You liked getting the road trip out of it. It was a cool road trip. Anybody I've talked to said that was actually a surprisingly good road trip.
They had a blast. My friend Johnny Orr took his whole family and some others, boyfriend, girlfriends, and they did the wine country.
Yeah.
They did the Golden Gate.
I've yet to talk to anybody that didn't say anything, but that was a fantastic trip, and it surprised them. They thought Cal was going to be a complete dud of a trip, but they really liked it. Stadium was better than they thought. It was prettier than they thought.
So much so he raved about a post-game hot dog stand afterwards, like New York style, out there with peppers and everything. He's like, they had this hot dog stand. Loved the whole trip.
But then Cal coming back to Auburn, you're just like, It doesn't do anything. Now, if you're a Cal fan, you're like, oh, cool, we get to go play at Auburn, so I get it.
But, Auburn scheduling an ACC team, that's pretty normal, right?
That's
true. What Cal
ACC
is now.
Cal, yeah.
But you're talking about that future schedule. When you schedule that Baylor game, Baylor was, one of the best teams in the Big 12. When you schedule the game with who else was on there?
Miami.
UCLA. Miami's trending, right? UCLA was the one I was thinking about. Chip Kelly was probably hired right then. It was trending to being good again. So you never know what these schedules are going to look like. But those, at the time, look like you could have Big 12 champion contender, up-and-coming Pac-12 team, up-and-coming ACC team, and now they look to be mids.
But a lot of your powers in the SEC are scheduling 2 big teams every year now. And I'm just saying, Auburn, they need to catch up. That's not a good upcoming schedule.
Cal, to have Auburn out of conference being ACC now, their travel, so they play at Auburn, they play in Tallahassee, they play at Pittsburgh, they play at Winston-Salem, and then their short road trip is to Dallas to take on SMU.
So I think
that's a travel partner.
I mean, that is crazy.
Yeah, I know.
I think I saw Cal has the most travel in college football.
Well, they got to.
Yeah, I can believe it.
What do you think was going to happen when you joined the ACC, though? I mean, Cal can't complain about this.
But somehow they beat Stanford in that
travel yardage.
Well, I just wonder what their bottom line is going to look like. Their athletic budget after this.
Better than if they weren't in the ACC.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, it's better than what you'll get with Oregon State and Washington
That's right.
State.
Yep.
I want to talk about rivalry weekend since we've got these new conferences and how some of these, like Cal, are paired up on rivalry weekend when you have the best matchups, in my opinion, around college football. Now, I do like the good sneaky rivalry games that sneak out other places like Texas, Oklahoma, Iowa State. But that last rivalry weekend, we'll talk about that after I remind you that our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama want you to stay on top of your health, guys, as you work your way through the 20s into later life. Everything on top of it, you can stay there with Urology Centers of Alabama, 205-930. I don't know why I'm speaking like Yoda all of a sudden. On top of it, stay there. You can at UCA. Urology Centers of Alabama, 205-930-0920, 930-0920, Urology Centers, Alabama.com. 16 locations, 36 urologists spread out. Make your appointment today and stay on top of your health. Prostate health, all the way to kidney stones and everything in between. It's our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama, urologycentersalabama.com. Now, some of these things, we'll start with the SEC. Brown, yesterday you indicated you really like. You think the SEC has rivalry weekend with their new teams dialed in, Texas A&M, of course, and Oklahoma, LSU. You like what the SEC did.
Well, primarily because LSU has struggled to find that rivalry weekend. If you're being honest about it, LSU's biggest rival is Alabama. So their biggest rival, they play early November, and the SEC never could quite figure out what to do with LSU on that last weekend. They tried Arkansas in the battle for the boot they even created, and I just called it the battle for the boot. They created that trophy. They created that rivalry.
For a minute, those were fun games because Arkansas was able to pull off a couple of major upsets.
Yeah. I mean, Arkansas, and Les Miles was always unpredictable, so it made it fun, but that's not a rivalry that moves the needle for you.
No, but that one year when we were at Sweet Bones, Alabama, after our show, it was number 1 LSU versus number 3 Arkansas.
Yep.
Is that what it was?
That was when Arkansas was probably the third best team in the country.
14-0, and then got blown out.
Yeah. So then A&M came to the league, and they were like, look, geographically, this could be the rivalry here. Baton Rouge and Houston aren't terribly far apart. Let's do this. So then they tried to make it LSU, Texas A&M. They had some good games. One that, went how many overtimes?
7.
7 overtimes. We changed the rules because of it. But it just really didn't, it really didn't hit. Well, now A&M's going to have Texas, obviously.
That's
so
right.
I like Oklahoma LSU. Is it going to become a big rivalry? I don't know. But on rivalry weekend, that's 2 good helmets to have on the field at the same time.
Now, though, you put Oklahoma against LSU. They've split up with Oklahoma State. So what is the new version of Bedlam for Oklahoma State? They play Colorado on rivalry weekend. Oklahoma State, Colorado, in Boulder this year, first trip there.
Yeah, it does nothing for me.
Also in the Big 12, Utah. Utah-BYU is one of those rivalry games they play earlier in the year, which is always a good matchup, the Holy War there. Utah's rivalry weekend game this year will be in Orlando against UCF.
Oh, the Battle of the U's.
That's a made-for-TV Friday game, though, because could
be a good game.
It could be for the Big 12 playoff.
Well, we are going to be previewing a team and today in our 40 and 40. And when I look at Utah's schedule, the only chance outside of at Oklahoma State they have of being an underdog is at UCF.
I mean, that could be it's not going to be this every year. So having a rivalry Saturday or Friday, Black Friday, won't mean this every year. But that is going to be a significant Big 12 game this year. I mean, that could be for a inside track to a playoff spot.
No, winner likely in that game. I wouldn't surprise me. Winner in the Big 12 championship game.
I'm with you 100%.
Utah, UCF, it's a main Fox. They expect it to be that way on Friday.
I still think Kansas and Kansas State, Oklahoma State, Utah are your 4 best. Now, we'll see. UCF could sneak into that group.
So the Big 12 is the one that doesn't, well, the ACC's worse, but they've got TCU, Cincinnati having to pair up now on rivalry weekend. They do get it right with Arizona State and Arizona.
But this is just all experimental for some of these, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to be fluid and finding what rivalries might develop.
Yeah, because if it doesn't stick, I mean, if UCF and Utah does nothing, I still don't know why you wouldn't have put BYU Utah at the end.
Yeah, why are they playing?
Because, I mean, even if it's not competitive right now, ultimately it will be, and because of that rivalry going back for – I don't even know how many years the Holy War goes back, but they put it on November 9th.
Yeah, and on rivalry weekend, BYU plays Houston, and as you said, Utah plays UCF.
They're in the same conference finally. Why not
just play them on rivalry Saturday when you got all your big games?
The Big Ten is going to try to make Washington, Oregon. It is a rivalry. It's a border war. That's the rivalry game for them.
Great games the last 3 times they played over the last 2 years.
Rivalry weekend for UCLA, they'll get Fresno State.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be.
So UCLA's out of conference in rivalry.
Yeah, I don't know if this year is Notre Dame at USC. When USC goes to Notre Dame mid-season, I don't know if they'll end with USC-UCLA rivalry.
Is that in the Rose Bowl?
Yeah.
Do you know how many people will be at that game?
Fresno UCLA?
Yeah, nobody.
More people in the back room.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine 2 days after Thanksgiving in the Rose Bowl for UCLA Fresno?
But the worst is the ACC. With SMU, Cal, and Stanford coming in. Cal and SMU will pair up rivalry weekend. And on main CBS, I don't know who will get stuck with this game. I'm sure there's a guy that talks really slow and deep and plays
Carter Blackburn.
I don't know who it is.
Or is that Aaron Taylor?
I think it's that crew.
Aaron Taylor's the one that Rockstar said looked like Grimace. Did you say that?
He does. He's the one. Is he the one that talks like this?
Notre
Dame needs to have a better
massive
game.
head too.
Stanford.
You should have a career in broadcasting.
Try it.
Stanford at San Jose State rivalry weekend.
Stanford at San Jose State, and that's on main CBS.
At least for them, they're the main CBS
on a Saturday.
Friday.
Oh, Friday. Okay.
Yeah, Stanford at.
You show a lot of things on a Friday.
San Jose State.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's a little rivalry weekend look as we get closer and closer to football. Speaking of, one of our countdown teams, we'll do our 40 and 40 when we come back, brought to you by our friends at mybookie.ag. Don't forget our friends at Roback, giving you the best gear, TNR 20 for that 20% discount. You can do that with our friends at Roback, roback.com, TNR 20, as you get that 20% off right now online. I got this little pullover today, little
good-looking pullover
chill in here, and look for the iconic double stripe on the back there. Some flags. It's good gear. Golf course or lounging around. Forrester was showing off his new hoodie he got while I was on vacation earlier this week. Little red tint. I've never seen you in red before, Forrester. You look good, and a little shade of crimson, by the way.
That was not crimson.
You don't think so?
No. Not remotely.
Not remotely? Okay.
Never.
When we come back, our 40 and 40 countdown, our show brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
If renting is putting a dent in your bank account, here's your sign from the universe that it's time to buy a new home. And who better to help you through the ins and outs of home buying than our friends at Mortgage Right. With Mortgage Right, you don't have to worry about becoming a short notice mortgage expert because they do all the heavy lifting for you. They're trusted mortgage professionals and they'll help you choose the right mortgage option and stand by your side every step of the way. Visit mortgageright.com/TNR to buy before renting runs you dry. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
When on YouTube, you constantly hear requests to please like and subscribe. Well, here at Disrupt Media, we aren't going to play that game. Those demands are frankly outdated. So we just want you to hit like or subscribe. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. Pick a path, hit like, or hit subscribe. It's your call. We don't care which, just pick one. Or go to Roll Tide Pods and do it. Or War Damn Pods. Or the Disrupt Media YouTube channel. Or the Meltdown. Just make a decision and stick with it. Like or subscribe, the choice is yours.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
I don't know when we started the trend of announcing we've sold out season tickets, but I remember us last year commenting that a lot of schools now make that announcement. And I never see that coming from a lot of the SEC schools.
Yeah.
Of the higher end SEC schools. I just assume we do sell out the season tickets that are available for all the high end SEC schools. But Oklahoma State yesterday, for the second year in a row, sold out their season ticket packages at Oklahoma State. Brown gave you a ticket deal you can get at Auburn right now, not involving season tickets, but you can get every game but the Oklahoma game with a 4-pack and a parking pass, which has become more and more important at every college stadium. Mets finished a sweep last night of the New York Yankees. They've now won 15 of 19, and they're just a game and a half out of the wild card all of a sudden. And 4.5 games behind Atlanta, who leads the wild card race. But the Mets all of a sudden have turned things around. 12-2 they beat the Yankees again last night. We'll talk a little bit more baseball with Buster Olney coming up at 10:25 on the show. That is being brought to you today by our friends at Launius Furniture. Always loved back in the day on our radio days when you would describe to me the directions to Launius Furniture.
Yeah, look, Launius Furniture has just been a mainstay around the central Alabama area for a long, long time, going back to John's father, grandfather, Reggie now involved in it. Just incredible people out there. Look, we know furniture can be expensive. We know furniture can be hard to find. Well, guess what? You're going to get a great selection. You're going to get great pricing. Our friends at Launius Furniture believe in getting more style for less. Launius offers a great selection of furniture for your living room, bedroom, dining room, home office, entertainment, and mattresses. Launius can also help you with your home design and decorating. They've got that 3-week event going on, store-wide savings driven by hot buys with price and products to play on the summer theme. Transform your home into a beautiful escape with new furniture and decor pieces, from vibrant outdoor furniture to breezy home accents. Launius has everything you need to create your own sunshine sanctuary. Bring the sun inside with Launius Furniture. Save up to 10% off store-wide or special financing, plus tons of hot buys throughout the store. Also, you can get $300 in Launius sleep credits with select mattress purchases from Birmingham. Take exit 280 off of I-65. It's the Hallmark Farms exit. Go south on US Highway 31, 1.3 miles. Going to be right there on your right. Get in, see the fine folks at Lanya's Furniture, and make sure you tell them the next round sent you.
The fine folks in Jacksonville voted the Duval County folks to pay $775 million for renovation to their stadium there. The owner's going to kick in $625 million, so it's a $1.4 billion renovation to the Jaguar Stadium, trying to make it basically the SoFi of the South. They won't call it that, but they're trying to make it like the Rams.
South-fi.
Yeah, like the Rams state-of-the-art stadium. This means that the cocktail party, Georgia and Florida, will hasn't been officially announced yet, but me looking at the plans, 2026, 2027 on campus, because for the Jaguars, they'll play the 2026 season with a limited capacity of 43,000 fans, and Georgia and Florida is not going to want to sign up for cranes in half-filled stadiums. So look for 2026 to be on campus, and 2027, the Jaguars themselves will be playing at an alternate place, likely Camping World in Orlando or Ben Hill Griffin over in Gainesville, or both. So look for the cocktail 2026, 2027 to be on campus.
I would
There's
just like
the
to,
renovation.
to bring it back. You know, I've been to a cocktail party in Jacksonville. I had a good time. I hate the city of Jacksonville. I think it's boring. I think it's dirty. It's way too large.
What was good about it?
Yeah,
But you had a good time?
Yes, I really enjoyed it.
I've been a few times. I just think that Georgia and Florida fans are kind of past it now. I know there's a little bit about tradition, but if I'm a Florida or Georgia fan, I'd rather go to Gainesville and Athens and rotate.
I do wonder, they've had it on campus before. Now, that was when Florida dominated. Now, Georgia has a opportunity to be in the, pay that back. I do wonder, a taste of it on campus, if that will change some desires among Georgia and Florida fans. The difference in that one and like the Iron Bowl that was in Birmingham or the Red River in Dallas is that a lot of people make that a vacation because they go to St. Simon's or Jekyll or some of those islands along the Atlantic coast and turn
There'll
it
be
into
some destruction tonight in St. Simon's.
Yeah, you ain't doing that in Jacksonville unless you got a yacht on the St. Johns River.
What do you mean?
I'm saying you're not making Jacksonville a destination vacation.
No, they go to St. Simon's and places like that just outside of Jacksonville. So that's what I'm saying is, it's a little bit more of a destination journey than some of these other neutral site games. So that does factor into it, I think.
Yeah, and Troy makes a great point, too. The Jaguars play a couple of games a year in London.
Yeah.
And you're going to pay $1.4 billion to put a new stadium there. I wonder if that will forever end the rumor of that team going to London and them having to play a couple of games there every year.
Yeah, that's how bad Jacksonville is. You got to get out to play 2 games in Europe.
I'm assuming that those rumors were probably what fueled all this. I'm assuming Shad Khan.
He wanted a new stadium, wanted renovation.
Right, so you start leaking the ring. They could move us to London. We don't get a good stadium.
Hats off to him, too.
That's got to help.
He's paying $625 million of his own money. You don't get that at a lot of places.
Look, I mean, that's a guy that likes to spend. He takes a lot of pride in his organization. But, going back and forth to Europe, if that ever happened, and we've talked about this, I think it is the worst thing the NFL does. The NFL does almost everything right. But trying to appeal internationally has never made sense to me. I know there's dollars and cents behind it, but if they were ever to go and relocate in London, I don't think you would get free agents. Yeah. I really think that they would become the worst organization year in, year out because nobody would want to go there.
You're having now to explain money you're having to pay taxes when you go to a California franchise or to a Canadian franchise, how the difference in you're getting pay. Can you imagine what it would be going to London and all of that?
Brooks mentions this in the mybookie.ag chat room. I was just thinking, this probably gets Jacksonville back in a Super Bowl rotation. I had not thought of the college football championship game rotation.
Yep.
I mean, if they've got that nice of a stadium and they're going after a Super Bowl, you got to think they'd probably go after a college.
I don't know if you guys have been to any big events there. I went to a Super Bowl in Jacksonville, and it was the Donovan McNabb, Tom Brady, really good game. But it didn't have that feel. Yeah. There was nothing special about Jacksonville. Our buddy Michael over in the mybookie.ag, my buddy tells me Khan doesn't even get off his yacht in Jacksonville. I wouldn't either. His yacht's a lot nicer than Jacksonville.
I mean, we screwed up by sending Lance to Salina, Kansas, didn't we?
We should have just sent him to
Jacksonville, Florida.
That's where we would go every summer, man. That's my grandparents and my aunt and uncle.
I remember one of my first memories about Jacksonville. I was a senior in high school, and it was the first time I had gone to the cocktail party. Shane Matthews was quarterback for Florida.
Okay.
And they destroyed Georgia. But there was a bar downtown called the Milk Bar. And does that mean anything to you guys? I wonder if our film freaks in the back know. The Milk Bar.
MILK.
Of course, Tyler knows.
Yeah.
And the Milk Bar, is it from?
It's from a 1971 classic. Stanley Kubrick, Clockwork Orange.
Okay.
It's where they hung out, was the Milk Bar. I thought it was kind of cool that they had a place called the Milk Bar. I seriously doubt it's still open.
Was it a good place?
Yeah, I mean, it was what you would think.
Yeah.
Kind of eclectic, weird.
So that's
a lot of anime people hanging out.
Yeah, so Brooks asked, Brooks anime
See you
people.
back there.
Brooks asked, more impressed, Lance with Jacksonville or you with Graceland?
I think I like Graceland slightly better than LT like Jacksonville.
You didn't want it imploded.
I mean, if you guys spend any time in Jacksonville, do you all like it at
I
all?
went to a Gator Bowl one time before it was renovated. Alabama playing North Carolina. We went down there with some friends, and I wasn't blown away.
I drove through it on the way to Daytona one time. I took the wrong exit. MyBookie.ag not only bringing you that chat room that Brown's into over there with some of your great comments, but also our wonderful 40 and 40 countdown where we go into the top 10 today. Tell us about MyBookie.
MyBookie.ag code next round as we talk about this team we're about to unveil. Lance probably going to give you a bunch of games they're favored in, and you can play all those games at MyBookie.ag. Code next round when you sign on. Get that sign-on bonus. Also, a revamped loyalty and VIP program. MyBookie.ag, code next round. MyBookie.ag, code next round to get signed on. They bring you the 40 and 40, including today's team as we enter the top 10.
Oh, crazy that we're already to the top 10 of this. Seems like yesterday we were unveiling our number 40 team. I can't remember who that is, but it seems like yesterday we were doing that. It was Houston at 40.
Yeah.
Today it's Utah, right up the Connect 4. It's all the way up to the number 10 line. The Utah Utes in a new location, the Big 12.
Yeah, first year of the Big 12, look, didn't have a problem in the Mountain West, didn't have a problem in the Pac-12. You know, after playing or winning back-to-back Pac-12 championships, Cam Rising never got healthy last year, never played, and that offense was not good. And they dropped to 8 wins, and I think with Brant Keithy coming back at tight end, you can make the argument best tight end in college football coming back. You've got Cam Rising coming back. The defense is always going to be lights out under Kyle Whittingham. They only gave up 18.9 points per game last year.
His front seven seems to be always so physical on defense.
Yeah, you lose Jonah Ellis, so you lose a big piece of that, but they always seem to replug. And, you know, Dorian Singer, who was one of the best receivers in college football at Arizona 2 years ago, transfers to USC. He's kind of the forgotten guy last year, but I think Dorian Singer bounces back, has a big year. This is a pass offense that only averaged 166 yards per game last year and only had 15 passing touchdowns.
We appreciate their service, though, as a military academy.
Yeah, it will be night and day this year. And when you look at the schedule, it is so forgiving. And what I believe is a really difficult Big 12. Their only potential landmines to me are when they go to Stillwater and then end of the year, as you guys said, when they go to Orlando to take on Central Florida. By that time, who knows? Central Florida might have 4 or 5 losses and might be out of the picture. Yep. But I think this Utah team is going to be really, really good. I know you guys have heard that from me before.
We have.
But in Kyle Whittingham, I trust. I mean, this is a guy in 19 years. How many times do you think he won 10-plus games?
In 19 years, I'm going to say he's got 8 10-plus win seasons.
I'm going to say double digits, 10.
It's only 7, but 7 is a lot. He's only got 2 losing seasons in 19 years, and they were 5 and 7 back-to-backs. I mean, this guy, to me, is a top 10 coach.
I will say, to your point of the schedule, they survived that trip to Boone Pickens Stadium.
Oh, watch out.
September 21, and that schedule opens up for them on the back end.
Well, I would ask you guys this, though. Let's just say that they do that. If Utah is undefeated, and there's a real possibility of this, undefeated playing for the Big 12 championship, if they were to lose that game, at 12-1, do they still get in?
I don't think so. Because I don't know how many of these teams they're playing are going to be ranked, Lance. I mean, if you know, Oklahoma State probably will be, Arizona may, but I don't know what of those teams are going to climb into the top 25. I just don't know what kind of resume they're going to have.
I'm going to need to know what Notre Dame has done what the ACC has done.
Yeah.
If the ACC is only putting one in, then because Utah has a reputation that you talk about that they have been really good in the Mountain West and in the Pac-12, I think there's some street cred for the Utah program. Yeah, I think there is too.
And, you know, Utah is one of those teams that has knocked on the door of the college football playoff 3 or 4 times. They've never been able to bust through. And this is the year. If I'm a Utah fan with Cam Rising coming back for year 6, like if we don't get there this year with this schedule, I'm like, damn, what is going wrong?
When are we going to do it?
If you'll put the little tease graphic back up again, there's the Utah schedule in its entirety. That schedule, as LT says, and Brownie after September 21st on the road opens up nicely for them, though I think TCU is going to be improved. BYU's a rivalry game. Could be tricky against the Gus Bus at the end.
But they get all those games at home outside of, as you mentioned, UCF and Oklahoma State. If they make it out, because Arizona's going to be tricky too.
Yep.
You make it out of September undefeated, watch
look
out.
Yep. And put up a little tease graphic again for me, if you will. There it is. Urban Meyer was the Utah head coach before Kyle Whittingham took over. I mean, think
crazy to think about.
Think of how many places Urban Meyer has won a national championship, to Florida, to Ohio State, to the Fox desk, to Jacksonville, back to the Fox desk.
He's had
and this
3
guy's
coaching
still
jobs.
coaching.
Yeah, he's had 3 coaching jobs and an analyst.
And we saw most difficult places to play in college football, and I think Rice Eccles was like 17 or 18, way too far down that list. I mean, that is a really cool venue to sit at home on the couch watching a game, but it is a very difficult place to play. Whittingham has done an incredible job there. He really has. Former BYU player who played for Lavelle Edwards, goes across, coaches his rival, and he's done a great job with them.
That is our mybookie.ag 40-40 countdown today with Utah.
I think you can hear from Lance talking. He thinks he'll be favoring a bunch of games. You can play them all right there at mybookie.ag. Code next round when you sign on at mybookie.ag.
All right. Before LT and Brownie and Rockstar tell us what the question was last night at Odie's, I just want to make LT's head explode real quick. Hallmark holiday season movie in production right now. This is from the Katie Kirk newsletter.
Yeah, really?
Yep.
KC.
Name of the...
Let me guess. Joe Biden debates Santa Claus.
Holiday touchdown.
Would Santa run circles around him?
Holiday touchdown.
Travis Kelce.
A Chiefs love story is in production.
So
Holiday touchdown.
Well, there's
a
no
Chiefs
way
love story.
Taylor Swift would agree to this.
You don't get either one of them. I mean, somebody's going to play.
You probably could get Travis Kelce.
I don't think you could.
They make a point. The Chiefs are co-producing this with whoever the best producer is on Hallmark. The Chiefs have signed off on it.
Boy, people are lining up, knocking at his door.
But they say it has nothing to do with Taylor Swift or Travis Kelce. But it is a famous female.
No, anything like that. It's just a pop star that falls in love with a tight end. It's not Travis Kelce.
Broken Arrow.
But to your point, neither Kelce or Swift have signed off on this. But they're going to try to cash in. Holiday touchdown, a Chiefs love story.
Okay, so if you guys are leaning they ever get married, yes or no? What do you think the Vegas odds would be?
I think they get married.
I don't think they will. I don't know if she wants to get married.
Yeah, I mean, I think cohabitation, long-term relationship before they get married.
Yeah, I will. And then that's if they got married within a year, they're divorced. Just because of the extra pressure it puts on the relationship.
I think this is her last tour until
until next year.
Until next time she needs to cash $1 billion check.
She's deep into her 40s.
Yeah,
it'd be a decade.
Lunceford scares me how much he knows about this. Yeah. They will get married. She 100% wants to.
Yeah,
that's why her and Joe broke up.
Joe?
Okay,
Biden.
Joe Jonas didn't want to get married. Of course, I don't blame Joe Jonas for not wanting to get married.
That gets us to the top of the hour, end of hour one. Buster only in about 22 minutes. Last night, trivia night at Odie's. What was the question?
What came first, Ariana Grande or Chipotle?
I was surprised at this.
Well, we learned yesterday that Ariana was 31. Is that correct?
31 yesterday.
Yeah. 31. So that only takes us back to the 1990s now. Boy, the 90s were my favorite decade. I'm going to say Chipotle's older.
Ariana Grande, born yesterday, June 26th of 1993. Chipotle, July 13th of 1996.
It's very close.
Yeah, so 17 days apart. But Ariana Grande did come first. Little nuggets you learn when you go to Odie's Team Trivia. We do it every single Wednesday night. Big crowd last night. Again, not only that location, the original in Crestline, there's the newest location in Edgewood, the corner of Oxmoor and Broadway. Great food from Rodney Davis, ice cold beer buckets, full of the Bud Light. Get in, see Willa Haver at either one of those great places, great locations of Odie's for lunch, for dinner. Odie's Tavern, Crestline, and Edgewood.
All right, when we come back, Athlon has their bowl projections out. I will run them by some SEC teams, and you tell me, fan base, happy with this bowl destination or not. And we'll do Rockstar's 4 Downs in the next segment. Then we'll talk to Buster Only. All that's still ahead right here on the next round.
Follow Rockstar on Twitter at RockstarBHM.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Our friends at Woodhouse bringing you this part of the show. Before LT tells us about Woodhouse, Rick Pitino letting people know that he did something. Drew Franklin reporting from the Kentucky Sports Radio platform they have there. Rick Pitino tells them he has made donations over the years to Kentucky football's NIL efforts, that he remains friends with Mark Stoops and Eddie Grand there. So Pitino still giving back some cash to Kentucky, where he made a lot back in the day, but not as much as he would have made now if he was the coach at Kentucky. But that's pretty cool, right? He's remained friends with Mark Stoops and Ricky P giving back to Kentucky. Big Blue.
Yeah. Now, do you think Louisville just doesn't even look Pitino's way after how that thing went down?
For a football donation.
I would imagine that helps the fact that I can beat Louisville at football too.
I mean,
there you go.
a 35, 40-year-old Pitino today could probably make 12 to 15 million.
Oh, yeah, he could dominate with the way he coached.
Yeah.
He did say, Mark Pope obviously played for him in Kentucky, and he did say he would make the first NIL donation for Mark Pope, too, to the basketball side, not just football. So, if he's a man of his word, he has supported both of them.
Tell us about Woodhouse, LT, and we'll jump into this Athlon Bowl projections.
The gift of luxury, you can get it from Birmingham's Best Day Spa, the Woodhouse Day Spa, located at Summit Shopping Centers right off of Highway 280. Choose from a menu of over 70 options, including massages, body treatment, skincare, waxing, nail services. Think about how hot it is. You're looking for something to do. How about just a day of relaxation? You can do couples massages. Rockstar got Nancy, his wife, the
pregnancy massage,
which she loved. Those things are a hit. If your wife, if she's carrying your child, what a great gift for her. Get one of those pregnancy massages, but skincare, waxing, nail services. Woodhouse Day Spa voted America's best day spa since 2009. You can order that special person gift online. Go to birmingham.woodhousespas.com. You can buy them 24/7 online. Stop by the Woodhouse Day Spa at the Summit Shopping Centers. Tell Stuart and that great staff the next round sent you.
Listen, these bowl projections never really work out this way. I just like to just say if they end up in a bowl like this, how would the fan base feel?
Okay.
SEC only here.
This level of bowl game.
This level of bowl game. In the Birmingham Bowl, South Carolina versus Tulane. How would the Gamecocks this year feel about a Birmingham Bowl bid?
Well, they were not in a bowl last year, and you lose your starting quarterback and Spencer Rattler, a guy that is now off to the NFL. I think if you were to circle back and improve, I think it's what Shane Beamer needs, too. I think another missed bowl, I think Shane Beamer is squarely on a hot seat going into 2025. So I think they would take it. I mean, I don't know what your expectation can be. You know, when this was at one time, a 12-team league, then maybe you could sneak up, win 10 or 11 games. I just don't think that's a possibility in this 6-team league for South Carolina.
I think being bowl eligible with that schedule and everything they're facing, I think that's a win for them.
I'm with you guys there. Any bowl game this year for them, because I don't think they make one. I think that would be big. Citrus Bowl, which is still a big deal, not as big deal as it once was. At one point, the second-place team in the SEC ended up there a lot. Not the case now. Missouri versus Iowa.
Ooh. Well, so give me so you say the Citrus Bowl has fallen that far? What record do I have if I'm in the Citrus Bowl, do you think now?
9 wins.
Well, you're out of the 12-team playoff.
Yeah, so I'm probably 9 wins, maybe a 10-win team in a huge field of 10-win teams.
If I am both of those teams, I am very disappointed because, again, Iowa coming off 10 wins last year, Missouri 11 wins. That means both teams take a step backwards.
Yeah, and that means, that's not to the level of a 12-team playoff bowl, so that means you missed the 12-team playoff.
Yeah, and I know we're doing SEC here, but if I'm on the other side of that, I am really disappointed if I'm an Iowa fan as well.
I think I know your answer to this one, but it doesn't look good. The Gasparilla Bowl in Tampa, Florida and SMU.
I mean, Florida with a bowl. I mean, that might be a 7-win Florida team.
Yeah, I mean, much like South Carolina, you've improved your win total. You didn't go to a bowl last year. That's the way Billy Napier survives. If he gets to a bowl game, I think that's kind of the mark there.
So you'll take Gasparilla, Birmingham, anything that's a bowl game.
You would take absolutely anything. 6 wins.
Yeah, I think it's less about the name of the bowl that you're playing in. I understand what you're saying is the Gasparilla Bowl. I don't even know what Gasparilla is. It's less about the name of the bowl game and more about the fact that you got bowl eligible with that schedule.
And this is hard to say, but I think Florida winning 6 games, you beat somebody you weren't supposed to.
Yeah,
I mean, normally when you win 6 games, it's like you lost to a lot of teams you weren't supposed to. For Florida to win 6 games, they got to beat 1 or 2 they weren't supposed to. So I think you show improvement under Billy Napier, and I think he actually survives going to any bowl game.
2 happy, 1 sad so far, right? Gasparilla, it sounds like it'd be a great southern cocktail.
I thought it was a flower.
I think it is Tractor brand. The Gasparilla
I
Tractor.
It was like a flower too.
Yeah. The Gator Bowl. I think both of these not franchises, basically they are, fan bases would be tremendously disappointed. Miami versus LSU.
Oh, Miami, horribly disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, the
LSU
bar
too, though, yeah.
Miami and LSU is a 12-team playoff this year.
Yeah.
And I was going to say I think more for Miami, but I don't know. No, I think more for LSU. I mean, they're right there.
I don't know, Lance. I don't know who's more disappointed. It's two very disappointed fan bases at that point.
Nobody will show up.
To only be in the Gator Bowl.
Side note real quick for our buddy Greg Seitz.
By the way, game's in Jacksonville, right?
It is in Jacksonville, right. For our buddy Greg Seitz.
May as well not play it.
Who is the athletic director at Jacksonville State.
Yeah, let's go Gamecocks.
The Athlon Sports projections of the Hawaii Bowl, Fresno State and Jacksonville State.
I mean, don't you think as a proud alum I should go support the Gamecocks?
You probably should.
You got to go cover it for us.
I know. I didn't go to New Orleans last year, and I've always felt bad about that, so I'm going to make it up by going to Hawaii.
Yeah, and Jennifer spent some time on the JSU campus.
Oh, Jennifer has a degree from there. Yeah, I mean, this is a double degree
she
one.
She passed her Spanish.
Yeah, just a great family getaway there.
I almost called it a double degree family, and then I stopped myself.
We'll soon. Las Vegas.
You know something I don't?
Oh, no. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Your AK's going to get one, but not from Jack State.
Not for Jack State.
Las Vegas Bowl, which is up the pecking order a little bit.
That's right. This sounds like the bowl they used to play at Sound Boyd. This is actually going to be at the the good stadium, and it's a bigger bowl now.
Texas A&M in Arizona.
I don't think that's that bad for Texas A&M.
I don't know.
First year under Mike Elko?
Texas A&M was only 7 wins last year. I think it's back to 7 or 8 wins. And I think Mike Elko, that sounds about right for me. So, I think that Texas A&M fans would be like, okay, this was year 1. We don't have to deal with Jimbo anymore.
3 happy, 2 sad.
Okay, don't have to deal with Jimbo.
Liberty Bowl, West Virginia, I think would be happy. Auburn.
No.
What bowl am I?
Liberty Bowl.
I know the chat room's going to blow up and say, look, that's realistic for Auburn. I don't think Auburn fans would be happy with that.
I don't think, Liberty Bowl, that feels like a 7 win.
It does.
Yeah.
And if I'm an Auburn fan, I'm coming off 6 wins. This is year 2 of Hugh Freeze. I want to see major improvement. And when I say major improvement, at least a 2-game improvement, at least 8 wins. I really want to see 9 wins.
So it was Birmingham, Music City, right? The last 3?
Yeah. And then Liberty added to that. I don't know what the minimum bowl Auburn fans would be happy with, but I think Liberty is below that minimum.
I think so, too, yeah.
Music City Bowl. I don't know where you put that in the pecking order, Brown. Kentucky and Wisconsin. I think Kentucky would be happy.
7 wins last year. I mean, the realistic thing, I brought up South Carolina when we were talking about South Carolina. Like, I don't know what a realistic expectation can be in this SEC. And I think if you're Mark Stoops, I think he's got a solid program. If I'm a Kentucky fan, I just want the offense to look a little bit better this year, finally, with Brock Vandagriff. And if I win 7 or 8 games in this new look SEC, I would take that.
ReliaQuest, I think, is the old Outback, right? In Tampa?
I think it might be.
Right,
and I think Auburn fans could stomach that.
Yeah, I think we're to the minimum point for Auburn fans now.
Tennessee and Nebraska.
It's very disappointing.
Nebraska would love it
for Tennessee.
I mean, Nebraska coming off 5 wins, that probably puts them at 7 or 8 wins at least. But if you're a Tennessee fan, it's, and we can go through this exercise. There's only 12 teams that are going to make this, but there is a bar for a lot of programs out there. If I don't get to a 12-team playoff, it was a major disappointment. And I think for Tennessee, it's hard to say that, but coming off a 9-win season when you won 11 the year before, if they don't go to the 12-team playoff, I think Tennessee fans are going to be massively disappointed.
Yeah. Now, is that still a New Year's Day bowl? Do you know, Jim?
I do not know.
I don't know if that matters anymore.
I think we moved it off. I think New Year's Day is just the playoffs.
Okay.
But I may be wrong. Side note real quick. Athlon has Colorado in the Sun Bowl, which seems to be a big step.
If he gets them bowl eligible this year.
Yeah. I mean, 4-8 last year, the way they kind of crashed into the mountain, October, November, December, if they were to go to a bowl game, to me that's, and especially in this new look Big 12, I think that's an improvement, definitely.
The rest of Athlon's projection bowls for the SEC and some other notables. Buster Olney, and then after Buster, Rockstar's 4 Downs, all to come. First, let me remind you, Precision Sports and the fine folks there that do orthopedics and sports injuries are ready to get your life back on track. Great locations from Alabaster up to Jasper, all over the Birmingham metro area. Wherever you're watching and listening to us in central Alabama, you can find a Precision Sports Medicine or Orthopedics location near you, part of the Brookwood Baptist Health Family Specialty Care Network. 205-512-3885, 512-3885. Whether you tweak something on the pickleball court, pull a muscle dunking a basketball in the 9-foot goal, or whatever you're doing athletically, they can help you. Diagnose it, treat it, and get you in the rehab process. PrecisionSportsOrtho.com/2024. PrecisionSportsOrtho.com/2024. They've helped me tremendously. They helped my daughter. LT's been there to see them as well. Fantastic folks. Orthopedic care better together. 205-512-3885. PrecisionSportsOrtho.com. Texas Bowl. The matchup would suck for me, but Oklahoma in the Texas Bowl, they've got one of the tougher schedules in the SEC. They would be playing Kansas, according to Athlon, just an old Big 12 matchup. But Oklahoma in the Texas Bowl, how will the Sooner fans react to that?
I do think their expectation is a little bit less than Texas. Texas believes they should not only get to a college football playoff in year 1, they believe they're going to win the SEC. They believe they can win a national championship. For Oklahoma, I don't know. Coming off a 10-win season, but your schedule is so difficult. It is the SEC. If you're super competitive, you beat a Tennessee, you beat an Auburn, you end up winning 8 or 9 games. If I'm an Oklahoma fan, I can live with that.
The Texas Bowl, though, feels like a 6-6, 7-5. You think they're okay with that? Maybe it's better than that. I'm just going on past experience.
Let's just go with 7-5 with that schedule. If you beat a couple of teams,
how do you look in the losses? Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
That one I'm up in the air on.
Yeah. I think that leaves, before we get to the playoffs, I think that leaves Vandy, Arkansas, and Mississippi State out of the bowl picture.
Not a surprise on any of those, really. Yeah.
Athlon's projection, and the fine folks of USA Today, first round playoff games. Alabama is an 8 seed hosting 9 seed Michigan at Bryant-Denny Stadium.
Wow, what a game.
Great helmet game.
So that probably means Alabama's 10-2. It means they likely did not play in Atlanta. But you do get a home playoff game. I haven't lived through these playoffs, Lance, so I don't know how fans are going to accept that. Like, if you're an Alabama fan, you didn't play in the SEC championship game, you probably got a couple of losses, but you're in the playoffs, you got a home playoff game. I don't know if that makes up for 2 losses and not going to Atlanta.
Remember, if you're not SEC champion, the highest seed you can have is the 5 seed.
And
That's right.
Who do you got it matched up with?
Michigan. Alabama, Michigan.
Oh, I think Alabama would love that matchup because I think Alabama, you
payback.
make an argument that, they were just as good going to overtime with Michigan last year. I think if you're an Alabama fan in year 1 of Kalen DeBoer and you get to a 12-team playoff, I think truth serum, if you were to ask Alabama fans right now, 10-2 play in the SEC championship or 10-2 don't play in the SEC championship, I think 80% say let's not play in the SEC championship.
I'm already seeing it in the MyBookie.ag chat room. Alabama fans saying, I would take, if my choice were go play the SEC championship game or host Michigan in the playoff, I'll take host Michigan in the playoff.
Yeah, because I think at 10-2, you lose that game, there is a great chance you don't get in. I would rather be 10-2 on the outside, not playing in it, because truthfully, the SEC championship doesn't. I know you're going to disagree. I don't think it means anything anymore.
Oh, I don't know yet. I haven't lived through it yet. I will tell you, though, as the 8-9 game, you win that game, then you're going to the Sugar Bowl, according to Athlon, and playing Georgia, who you would have played in the SEC
That's right.
championship
So,
game.
what's the difference, right?
Yeah. You still got to play Georgia at some point.
Yeah. Or whoever number 1 is.
Yeah, you're going to have to beat the best anyway.
But can you imagine the city of New Orleans there with that?
That'd be wild.
Quickly here, Texas as a 6 seed against Notre Dame. Ole Miss is a 7 hosting Penn State. Texas hosting Notre Dame. Georgia with the bye. Those are your SEC bowl teams there. Buster Olney talks baseball with us when we come back. The Mets are hot. Aaron Judge is hot. And we've got a crowded race for the playoffs in the National League wild card. That and more with Buster coming up right here on the next round.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at scottforestertv.
Things fall apart. There's even a book about it, but that doesn't mean you have to break the bank to fix them. Ryan Brown here for the next round. Our friends at Mortgage Right have a new renovation option that will make repairs and other home improvements easy. If you've recently purchased a home and find yourself short on cash, or you're looking to buy a fixer-upper, Mortgage Right's renovation loan program can help you spruce up your space. Repairs can be made to your roof, plumbing, flooring, and more with the help of top-notch mortgage professionals. So get your fix by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR. And MLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Our friends at Longye's Furniture believe in getting more style for less. Longye's offers a great selection of furniture for your living room, bedroom, dining room, home office, and entertainment room, helping you elevate your home design and decor. Longye's offers everything from vibrant outdoor furniture to breezy home accents. Everything you need to create your own sunshine sanctuary. Right now, you can save up to 10% store-wide, receive $300 in Longye's sleep credits with select mattress purchases, and access special financing on tons of hot buys. Take exit 280 off the I-65 Hallmark Farms exit today to see what Longye's has to offer you.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the next round, you see all the notes in front of me. from day one, Xerox Business Solutions. They've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
I was so proud of Birmingham when I was down on vacation last week, watching from afar how Major League Baseball and the city of Birmingham looked. And I know you guys were there, and just everything looked fantastic on television. And the reaction to the Major League Baseball coming to Birmingham seemed to have got rave reviews.
Yeah, Rob Manfred, I was reading an article this morning. Rob Manfred said that Major League Baseball will be back to Birmingham. So yeah. I would say he probably knows. Buster Olney is with us, ESPN. He joins us this time each week. Welcome in, Buster. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Yeah, I was curious about, and I know this is ground you guys have walked over since that game was played, but I was curious about your experience there and your reaction to that, because I must say, Ryan, I've quoted you like some of in talking with people with Major League Baseball when they asked me what did I think, and I said, well, I was not there, but my friend Ryan was, and here's what he thought. He talked about what a cool event, because as you know, I think this is a thing that should happen every year. I'm absolutely convinced of that, and I do wonder if that's a conversation that's starting up in Major League Baseball.
I mean, we were there. I thought it was perfect. I even said, Buster, and I don't know if Lance would agree with me, it almost felt like the game itself was just a sidebar to everything else.
Yeah, it was. And I know you being a Vanderbilt guy, you've been to SEC football games before. It had, and it's sad that we always bring it back to SEC football, but it had that electric feeling, right? Yeah. Like right when we walked in, it was like an old school carnival. And just for a moment, when we went and sat at our seats, Buster, on the third base dugout line, I looked at Brown and I was like, look at this. We had a conversation between Barry Bonds, Derek Jeter, and Ken Griffey Jr., just the three of them huddled up, just laughing. And I'm like, those are three of the best 15 players to ever play the game. And we're in Birmingham, Alabama on a Thursday night. And they're within 30 yards of us. It was crazy.
Yeah, and all of that is going to made to feel more intimate by the fact that you're in a place that is holding 10,000 people. It's not like in Yankee Stadium where you're looking up at the private box.
Right, exactly.
Right, where the owners are, or something like that. They're sitting in the next section over. It's almost like you're at a high school game. And look, I've said for years, people will, and I'm from Vermont, and they will say, yeah, the best rivalry, the most intense rivalry in sports is Yankees-Red Sox. And I just start shaking my head and going, like, you don't know anything about rivalry. You don't know anything about passion about sports until you've been in the South. And so to see a night like that and the reaction that was there and the stories that were told, I'm sure you guys have, because you were there, you probably got feedback on stories told by the likes of Bob Kendrick. It was awesome. And I think it's important. And I really hope they do it every year, to have those same conversations every year. And I think it meant a lot to a lot of people. And I will say this, I was at the game in 1997 when they retired Jackie Robinson's number 42. And people don't remember that initially, their individual players like Ken Griffey Jr. asked to wear 42. It wasn't like the first year everyone wore 42. People weren't quite sure what to make of it. And then over time, it's like, yes, let's get behind this. And all the players got behind it. And I feel like that the event in Rickwood could be the same type of thing, where at the beginning, people had a feel, okay, this could be pretty cool. And then when you go there and you hear the experiences of folks like yourself, Jeter, Ortiz, Ken Griffey Jr., maybe it's something Major League Baseball says, yes, we should go back there every year and have these conversations.
And as a native who grew up here, I mean, I know our history, when it comes to race relations, but I didn't know things. It never was told to me the way Reggie Jackson told it on the broadcast. And some of those things I think are important just to remember and to really know how things impacted. And I think that's a conversation that can be had every year on a national level if that game was played.
100%. And look, I can relate to it from my experience at Vanderbilt. When I went there in the years that I was there was stuff that I heard and I saw that were just, they took my breath away. And I was contacted by an alumni magazine in like 2010, 2012, and they asked me about my experiences. And I thought about it. I said, you know what? I think I love where the school has gone to. I love the school more now than when I went there. And I thought it was important to tell the stories of what I experienced and what I saw. And I actually had a couple of friends who I went to school with who were mad at me about that. I'm like, no, you know what? That's what the history was. And it's important to recognize the history so you can grow from the history.
So the second best record in all of Major League Baseball, it's not the Dodgers, it's not the Yankees, it's the Guardians after winning 2 of 3 from Baltimore as they head to Kansas City. I don't think we're talking enough about the Guardians. Stephen Kwan, who's hitting .377, I know he is not eligible, at least based on at-bats yet, of being in the mix. He will get there, though. I don't think we're talking enough about Kwan. I don't think we're talking enough about the Guardians. Am I right?
You're 100% right. Look, we are talking a lot about the Yankees because they have an MVP front runner in Aaron Judge and a superstar and Juan Soto. And we're talking a lot about the Orioles because they have this incredible collection of young players, Gunnar Henderson and Adley Rutschman. And what I think we're ignoring is the fact that the Guardians are clearly right now the best overall team in the American League. Look, they've always been good at developing pitching. They've had that long line from the CC Sabathias, Cliff Lee, Shane Bieber. They always are good at developing pitching. The difference this year is they have developed offense, which is really hard to do. As we speak, 5th out of 30 teams in runs scored, 8th out of 30 teams in home runs. And they're also number 3 in some of these advanced metric ratings. So they got a great bullpen, great rotation, a greatly improved lineup. Jose Ramirez is an MVP candidate, and they are going to be a team to have to be dealt with, I think, in part because the American League Central is better. They'll be better prepared for the playoffs. I agree with you.
ESPN's Buster Olney is on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. We were focused so much on the Thursday night game when you were with us last week. I remember you saying this, but we probably did not give it enough time, that you had just seen the Yankees, and you said, guys, there are holes throughout that lineup. This is not the complete team everybody has made it to be. Sure enough, Buster, they're in the midst of losing 8 of their last 10, and the team you will see Sunday night against the Rangers on ESPN, the Orioles, are just a game back now. Ever since you said that last week, it's become even more evident that this Yankees team is not whole.
Yeah, and one of the concerns that we didn't know was there last week is the fact that Garrett Cole is not close to being what he was last year when he was the best pitcher on the planet. His fastball velocity was down significantly the other night. He gave up 4 home runs, walked 4 guys in 4 innings with 0 strikeouts. That's Garrett Cole, okay? So the hitters told you his stuff is not close to being the same. And look, he's coming back from a major elbow issue. Maybe in time he finds his stuff again. It might be that he's kind of early in his own personal spring training and working his way back. But that's a concern on top of the lack of depth in their bullpen, on top of no offense at first base, second base. Gleyber Torres, which is benched by manager Aaron Boone. Third base is an issue. Brian Cashman, their general manager, through his history in running the team, has been really good, I think, at being aggressive at the trade deadline when the team needs it, and they need it. And he's probably going to be one of the busiest executives before the July 30 deadline.
So the Mets were dead and buried 3.5 weeks ago, sitting at 24 and 35.
I was holding the shovel. Yeah. I was holding the shovel.
They have won 15 of 19, so they're sitting now at 39 and 39. I know the Phillies, you can make an argument, best team in baseball, but they're 13 and back. If I asked you right now, Mets postseason, yes or no?
So it's funny. I thought of you guys today because, of course, I had my proclamation that the race was over that has lived in infamy, right? And so I asked Tim Kirkjian today, as he's sitting in the standings, the Mets are now within 5 games of the Atlanta Braves. I said, will they wind up catching the Braves? He said, no, he doesn't think so. I agree with that. I think that, as Austin Riley continues to get at bats, and Michael Harris comes back, that the offense will get better. And I think they'll hold off the Mets. But the Mets are a better team, maybe even than their front office thinks. And I think the guy to watch now who's emerging from being a young player of great promise into a superstar is their catcher, Francisco Alvarez. This guy, guys, we got to see them on Sunday Night Baseball. He plays with so much emotion. It is so much fun. You guys have seen Ozzie Albies. He's always got something going with other guys on other teams. He's joking around. He's into the game. Juan Soto in his plate appearance has got the shuffle. Francisco Alvarez is doing that almost every pitch. You see his body language going back and forth with the Mets pitchers, and it backs up what his manager, Carlos Mendoza, told us in late April after he got hurt. He said, man, we miss the catcher. The catcher is difference-making. And basically, when he's been on the field, the Mets staff ERA is 2 runs lower than it has been when he's been out of the lineup. He's someone to watch and emerge as one of the best players in baseball.
You really can't say, I guess, Marlins, Rockies, but other than that, everyone else in the National League, I was looking at the standings this morning, the wild card, because I was looking at the Mets. It seems to be everyone else is still in realistic shot at making the playoffs.
Right. The Cubs, who have been playing terribly. They start out 18-10, and they can't get a hit with runners scoring position for the last 6-7 weeks. It really has muddied up the conversations leading up to the trade deadline because there's so many teams in the National League have to look at what happened last year with Arizona and with Texas, who scraped their way into the postseason and wound up playing for the World Series title. And so I think you'll see, teams like the Cubs, like the Reds, like the Pirates, approach the trade deadline very carefully because they know with a 4 or 5 game winning streak, all of a sudden you can vault ahead of that pack. And things are going to look very different in your world.
When you've got a lineup with Ohtani and Betts and Freeman and Will Smith, Teoscar Hernandez picked up in the offseason. You really didn't think much about it. Now, this is a guy that had 5 of his last 6 years, 20-plus home runs from Toronto to Seattle to now L.A., but this guy quietly is tearing it up, Buster.
Yeah, and he's someone who, he was an all-star. I'll never forget the first year Ohtani was an all-star, watching Teoscar just absolutely find joy in Ohtani, and those two guys joking around in the dugout during an all-star game. He was a really good player, and my colleague, Eduardo Perez, really believes that the beginning of the demise of the Blue Jays began when they let him walk away, or they traded him, that he was an important guy, not only with his production, but with his personality. He wanted to go to the Dodgers, as you know. He had bigger offers from other teams. He could have gotten more money from other teams, but he looked at what the Dodgers had with Ohtani, with Freddie, with Mookie, and thought, you know what, that's where I want to play. He seems to be getting more and more comfortable in that role that he has with them. And let's face it, if you're hitting 4 or 5 in that lineup, you're going to get a lot of plate appearances with runners on base with those great guys in front of you.
All right, you'll see Buster on ESPN Sunday night, Rangers at Orioles, Camden Yards. I am going to guess offhand, knowing your history as we do, you have seen more games in Camden Yards than any other baseball stadium in America. Am I right about that?
Probably Yankee Stadium.
Okay.
Yankee Stadium, that might be, because I had 4 years of covering them. I had 2 years of covering the Orioles, so longer covering the Yankees, and then a lot of playoff games. There were a lot of years when we didn't go to Camden Yards on Sunday Night Baseball. So, yeah, but it's my favorite ballpark, having worked there, and a beautiful place, and I hope you guys have gotten a chance to go there. It was a unique ballpark when it opened. I can't wait to get back there this weekend.
Yeah, I haven't. I'm dying to go. And we've got a friend/client that is a big Orioles. He's a season ticket holder. I wanted to ask you, though, because I've been to old Yankee Stadium and new Yankee Stadium. Yeah. I'm going to assume you like old better?
Oh, not even close. Yeah, no question. Old Yankee Stadium is better. It had more character. Now, it was a little scary when they had rallies in the late innings and the crowds are going crazy, okay? And you could see the outfield stand swang. Ooh. And they literally, I remember one game was they had to postpone it because some brick and mortar fell through the floor or the ceiling of one of the levels. But in terms of being an intimidating place, energy, Old Yankee Stadium was unique.
All right, Sunday night, Rangers and Orioles from Camden Yards there on ESPN. That's where you'll see Buster and the crew this week. Thank you very much for the time, Buster. Enjoy Baltimore.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me. Always fun.
Yeah, always. We'll see you next week. We love it. Next Wednesday for Buster, since Thursday obviously is the 4th and we'll be off. He's with us each week on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.
And being brought to you in part today by our friends at HydroLive. I'll give you a chance to think about a trivia question while LT tells you about HydroLive. Last night, Aaron Judge hit his 30th home run at least 3 times. He became only the 3rd player to 3 different times in their career have 30 home runs before the All-Star break. Last night was the 3rd time he's done it. Only 2 other players in Major League history has done it at least 3 times. After he tells you about HydroLive, tell me who you think the other 2 players are.
Hey, IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, compression therapy, all under one roof. I know it's cooled down a little bit today where we originate from Central Alabama. I saw next weekend it's going to be up in the 100s. Woo. So you need to stay hydrated, whether you're out playing golf, you're exercising, you're just sitting by the beach or the pool. IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, compression therapy, all under one roof. IV therapy treatments packed with nutrients to increase energy, reduce stress and anxiety, boost your immune system, and much more. Ask about the memberships. Basically, recoup that IV membership fee in just one visit. HydroLive Therapy, open daily 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. 2 locations in Birmingham, the original in Homewood, 1 in Greystone, also in Tuscaloosa. Very important. Mention the next round. You're going to get 20% off any of those great services from our friends at HydroLive Therapy. For more information, you can check everything out, hydrolifetherapy.com.
Aaron Judge is the 3rd, 30 home runs.
So only 2 others?
2 others. 30 home
Mark
runs
McGwire.
for at least 3 times.
Mark McGwire.
I was going to go Barry Bonds, Babe Ruth.
Neither one of those.
Wow.
Mark McGwire and one other.
Mark McGwire and...
I had a random 3rd guess because I thought I had to guess 3.
I'll actually go Alex Rodriguez.
Oh, good guess.
Is that wrong?
It's wrong.
My most random guess was going to be Harmon Killebrew.
No, it's actually a
He's
guy.
got like 600 home runs, though, right?
It was a guy you were talking about, Ken Griffey Jr.
Really?
Yeah, which doesn't get it. I mean,
without
you guys
injury.
say it a lot. Without injuries, what would Ken Griffey Jr.'s legacy be?
McGwire, I think it was his rookie season, had 31 at the break.
Yeah, I think I'll have to go back and look. I think McGwire has done it 5 times. And I think Ken Griffey Jr. did it 3 times, and now Aaron Judge has done it 3 times.
McGwire, another one of those guys, needs to be in the Hall of Fame.
Who were you pulling for in that, McGwire or Sosa, back in the day?
McGwire.
You were pulling for him to get it rather than Sosa?
I think I was cheering for Sosa.
Were you?
Yeah.
I mean, that was...
It was so fun.
Yeah.
It was a fun
Outside
summer.
of, being a Dodger fan at special summers when the Dodgers were really good, that was probably the most memorable baseball season I can recount.
You would watch the most random thing on ESPN, just waiting for them to break in for the at-bats.
Being in
of
a
those
barbecue restaurant, and getting to go, and it was like, okay, we're going live to Busch.
I know, it's like, we interrupt bluegill fishing to take you out to Busch Stadium.
But did it not seem, just like when Bonds, hit, what was it, 73 that year? Every time they went to Sosa McGwire, it was like every 3rd or 4th time they were hitting a home run.
Oh, I know. It was must watch.
Here's a flashback for you. The Black Widow has a tough 7-4 combo here to get the 9-ball in play.
Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. Oh, we interrupt. We'll get you back to the billiards.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. The show being brought to you today by our friends at Way to Wellness as well. We'll do Rockstar's 4 Downs on the other side. Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. In fact, I am 1 bite in to my protein bar, mid-morning protein bar right here, which is
good.
Little nougat and caramel in there, a little pecan, chocolate, packed with protein. I think this one has 20 grams in there. Protein bars, my own lunch, my own dinner. That's what I do for my maintenance plan to stay on top of my blood pressure and cholesterol numbers. The Meltdown guys, I think, are down a combined 80 pounds.
How about that?
Between them as they sort of jumpstart their weight loss plan. You can be a part of that with Leslie and her board-certified team. This consultation you see on the screen is absolutely free. You go to their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. There are no contracts, no sign-up fees, and you can get details and sign up for a free consultation with Leslie by going to the website, aplanforme.com. That is Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Hey, you. Summer's here. Time to get hot. And at New Balance Birmingham, that's just what we got. For a summertime vibe, see what's inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or Michelson. LaserVision.com.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
We'll have some basketball conversation in the final hour, college basketball again, because Forrester's had Bruce Pearl and Mark Gottfried, Nate Oates conversations queued up for me all week long. We had so much going on, I haven't had a chance to get to it. But Rockstar, if you'll give me cut one before we do your 4 downs. Back to the new coach at Texas, former coach at Texas A&M and TCU, who left his family at TCU and then went to Texas A&M, and then after losing a national championship game, became the coach of Texas from Texas A&M. Forrester sends me a picture of a graveyard from Chris Del Conte.
That's correct, yeah.
And a
Texas Athletic Director, for those who don't know.
And a hook 'em horns. Apparently, this is where him in his car, where he was sitting waiting on the A&M plane. That's a graveyard in College Station. He was undercover waiting for A&M to get back so they could drive to Sloss's house and sign him up on the contract.
Yeah. If you don't think that deal had been done a long time, dude is literally sitting at a graveyard in College Station, Texas, waiting for the plane to land, and said he left the house with me in the car.
Yeah.
That's how long that deal had been done.
Meanwhile,
the more and more you hear the stories that are coming out with this, and you'll continue to hear more and more. Again, I described him as a shitbird yesterday. I think that's dead on the way he is. At least let this play out over the last couple of weeks.
And then the player who wore jersey number 12 got a couple of big hits. He said goodbye to the fans on Twitter and fans were like, no mention of the coach. That tells a lot. And he's like, oh, I didn't even know that when I wrote this and posted it, I didn't even know the coach had left. I found out about that on social media as well. A lot of people, a lot of players reacting that they were not told. They learned about it on social media as well.
Well, and I don't know if this is the cut we're about to hear, but as you see the players say that on social media, Schlossnagle did the old, I just wish I could have told my team face-to-face. No, you wish you could have told your team face-to-face when it was not an uncomfortable conversation for you. You were with your team flying back from Omaha when you knew you had the job. You could have told them face-to-face anytime you wanted to. It was just going to be super uncomfortable for you. You want to do it when it's less uncomfortable, when it's more comfortable.
You didn't really want to do it. You could have done it in the locker room in Omaha.
Yeah.
Hey, we lost. What a special year.
Yeah.
I need to tell you guys.
That's right. I want you to hear it from me first.
I tell you, I don't know. He did it the wrong way. That would be really difficult in that locker room after coming so close to winning a championship and then telling them. But
it'd be awful. But if you don't want them to hear it from somebody else, Lance,
you do have to do it at some point.
You got to do it when they're together, or you're never going to be able to do it.
So Schlossnagle gets asked what changed and what he would say to Aggie fans who think he intentionally misled them as the season progressed all the way to Omaha.
Number one, what changed? And then number two, what would you say to those Texas A&M people that supported you that feels like that you intentionally misled them?
Well, I didn't intentionally mislead them. And that's a very fair question for you to ask because that is what I said. In that moment, that's exactly how I felt. If I had left Texas A&M for some other school in a different part of the country, the interesting text messages and messages that I got yesterday probably wouldn't have happened. But I get it. You can't ask for your fan base to support you and be passionate like the 12th man always has been, but really was this year. Our crowds were awesome. Awesome. Every single game. And so you can't ask for that like I did and our staff did and then expect everybody to be okay with a coach leaving for its rival school. And I get it. All I can say is I have a career too. I have a personal life as well. That I have goals, and I just simply felt like no negative at A&M, just the positives of the alignment, and frankly my relationship with Chris. That I knew there wasn't anybody at Texas A&M that I couldn't trust. I just know that I can trust Chris. I just know that, and as hard as that decision was, I could not walk away from it.
Wow. Whether he meant to say this or not, what he said right there is, I didn't know if I could trust Trail Valvix.
I don't know.
I don't know that I can't trust him, but I didn't know if I could trust him.
I brought that up yesterday. I think it comes down to the athletic directors, the known with Del Conte, the unknown with Trev Albert. Still, his strategy was awful. And the fact of the matter is, you're taking what you view as your dream job, and instead of talking about that and hyping up the Texas fan base, you're basically talking about a Texas A&M reporter and apologizing. Everything about this was a disaster. Moving forward, I'm sure he's going to have a ton of success. But as much as Nick Saban is hated by LSU fans, after a 2-year hiatus before he came back to the SEC, this guy, I can't even imagine the venom and hatred after he got Texas A&M almost to the pinnacle of the sport.
Yeah, I mean, when they play in the regular season, I'll watch.
Yeah, but it's he's right. If he had gone to Ole Miss, Mississippi State, LSU, Alabama,
it's
Auburn,
not the same exact reaction. Now, there's going to be some venom, but it won't be the same as going to Texas.
Well, and it also depends on how he handles the press conference. Again, I still think that we're talking about how weird this situation is, and I can't believe he accepted the Texas job when Texas A&M, their bitter rival, is about to play for a national championship. But just the way he handled the press conference is really what has exploded on this.
And just knowing that, I mean, Chris Del Conte has made no bones about this. I'm sitting there waiting on the plane to land. Like, this guy was coaching me in the College World Series knowing he was taking another job.
Apparently, according to some former players, using burner phones to recruit for Texas while coaching through the playoffs for A&M.
Well, it burns me up. When I missed by one run.
Well, and I don't know if you guys heard this. So I had a buddy text me who was listening to Feinbaum yesterday, and he said that Billy Lucci was actually on the show. I don't know if anybody heard this or if you guys have heard about this.
I saw Billy on Mincy's show.
But he said listening to Feinbaum and doing some work, and Billy Lucci just said that Schloss told the reporter that asked him that question in front of everybody that he would never speak to him again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Afterwards?
Yeah, afterwards.
Well, I did see.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I don't have to cover you anymore.
Yeah. Lucci pointed out that Lucci's tied with all the money people at Texas A&M. He said every big money person that has texted him and says, I usually only give this amount for baseball, for NIL. He says, I've given them a blank check for NIL baseball.
That's what I said.
You said take it away from football.
No, I would take away whatever because you're not going to win one in football. You're not going to win one in basketball.
Yeah.
Take everything you've got and raid Texas and make sure that Texas A&M has the premier. Like, I'm almost pulling for Texas A&M baseball.
I kind of am too, and I don't even really care.
Yeah.
They made me care.
Lucci said big money. The people that pay for football have texted him and said, oh, this has pissed us off. We're going to spend whatever they need, whoever the new coach is, to whatever he needs to get NIL players to Texas
Money
A&M.
and ego are a lethal combination.
4 Downs every day, brought to you by our friends at Slice. Rockstar does it for us on Thursday. Sometimes when he sends us the list, I jokingly send back a response. I got no play on it last night.
Nobody thought Jim was funny. I forgot to read them, so I'm going to give you an unvarnished. I forgot to even look at them.
It's brought to you by Slice.
Yeah, 5 great locations. Make sure you stop in and see the Bajaya brothers, created by the late Jeff Bajaya. His legacy continues to be celebrated. Chris, Jason, his brothers. 5 locations: Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevallo, Crestline Park, the newest location in Edgewood. Local pizza, local ingredients. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
First down.
You can have 1,000 of anything that starts with the letter Y.
Easy. Yachts.
What are you choosing?
You got a fleet.
Well,
Dude,
because here's what you
Nathan?
do. If I've got 1,000, I'm going to keep 2. I'm going to keep 1 in the Bahamas, and I'm
You're
going to
gonna
keep
keep
1 in the French Riviera,
And then sell
and then
them.
I'm going to sell
Upkeep
the
is
other.
a little expensive too.
Yeah, but he's selling them all.
I'm selling the other $998. At the least amount you're getting is $500,000, and that is dirt cheap. I'm making $499 million on my 998 that I'm selling, and I can service those 2, and I am going to live a great life jumping between the Bahamas and the French Riviera.
I am going to one up.
right answer.
Nope.
I don't think you can.
I can. I am going to have 1,000 Yemens. The
Oh,
nation of Yemen, oil-rich nation. I've got 1,000 of them, Lance.
If you can reproduce
Their
Yemen.
GDP is 21 billion. I now have 1,000 21 billions, whatever that
I
number
don't want to
is.
deal with the oil. I'm selling mine cheap, on the cheap, and making $500 million.
I think I win. I've got 1,000 Yellowstones, the ranch up in Montana. I'm going with
a lot of grass to cut.
1,000 of those. I'll sell off 998 of them.
Yeah, I mean, if you were going low key, you could probably go Yeezys, and you could still make some pretty good money off that.
Troy's got 1,000 Yasmin Bleeds.
That's too many.
too much work.
Yeah.
Keith said 1,000 Yosemites, as EG would call them. Morgan says 1,000 yellow bars of gold.
Oh.
Yeah.
Timmons telling me the situation ain't great in Yemen. They still got oil in the ground, my friend. That's all I need.
No, they said that was the same question on the Rocket 95.1 this morning. There's no way they asked that same question.
Where's the rocket?
I don't even know. I guess
So
in
the Rocket's
Huntsville,
stealing from Reddit.
Yeah.
The
Houston,
Rocket's doing.
there's no way.
The same question on the Rocket 95.1.
Yeah, because
the
Rocky
morning
sent
zoo.
this last night.
Yep.
It's not like Rocky's driving in listening to the Rocket.
It was down today.
Does anybody up here working part-time for 95.1 The Rocket?
Second down.
What's the worst thing you have heard during a toast for a wedding or a rehearsal dinner?
Yeah, it might have been my toast as best man.
The worst of the year was yours.
As best man for my youngest brother, Cameron. Just because I remember when I met, and like we were on his bachelor party, and a couple of his buddies were like, there's no way you'll say some of these things. And I was like, oh, yeah, I will. And I love my sister-in-law, Paige. She's awesome. But her parents
didn't like it?
or late father, well, they're very conservative.
Yeah, so they didn't like your toast?
Well, I just gave the backstory of the first week that I knew Paige, the first night that I met Paige, the first night she met Cameron, and just how that first week unfolded. And, yeah, I you know.
I didn't see this in person, but I have seen it on video. It's the maid of honor giving a toast to the bride and groom, and they are a mixed racial couple. And during the toast, she looks at the black family and says, now, I'm not going to get racist here, but.
Oh, wow.
Which generally means you're either going to get racist or tiptoe right up to the line of racism.
What came right after that?
But you people. Let me tell you
That's what it
something.
was. I love you people. Yeah, I wasn't racist at all.
You may or may not know, but my wife dated my best friend first. So he jokingly said to the last two people to make out with the bride.
Oh my!
And
wow,
I thought it was a nice toast.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, young Shep.
At least he went and make out.
Yeah.
He didn't say he banged your wife.
Yeah.
That would be terrible.
But it was. I thought it was funny. But yeah, so I thought it was.
Third down.
I don't go to a lot of weddings, so I don't get to see all this uncomfortable stuff.
What is something definitely worth hiring someone else to do for you?
Rodrigo, man. Rodrigo works our block.
Yep.
But doing that yard work and watching him,
especially with the temperatures now.
Oh, I was in the pool Saturday and watching them out there, and you could tell they're looking over. Because I used to do, and one of the reasons I don't want to do it is because I used to, when I would come home from college, there was 3 summers that I did landscaping. And I remember walking around pools, like edging and stuff, and just be like, damn, I would do anything to jump in that pool. And watching them at 100 degrees, cutting a yard would be really, really
There
difficult.
are 2 things in my married life.
And they have long sleeves and like face coverings now.
Yeah, those poor guys, they're out in it all day. There are 2 things in my married life that once we did, I said, I will never do myself again. One is move.
Yep.
We moved, not the house I'm in now, but the one before that, we moved ourselves. And I told Jennifer, I goes, that is it. We are hiring a company.
Yeah,
next
just
time.
even moving furniture. Like right now, we had a lot of renovations done.
Yeah.
So I've got to move certain furniture. And it's like I'm trying to get Jack to have friends over where I can tell them, hey, I'm going to go get you guys lunch, but we've got this
Move
and
that,
this
yeah.
and this and this.
The other one was pressure washing my driveway. Like I did
Rockstar
it.
would do that for free.
Oh, I love that.
Oh,
stuff.
not my driveway. It's a big driveway, Rockstar.
I know, but like that, it is. It's like put some headphones on and get
I
it
liked
going.
it during the pandemic.
I did it. I remember that.
But
you had that
it's-
power washer.
But it's
yeah.
so loud. Like,
Yep.
so I've had a lot of quiet, believe it or not, behind me. Maybe because I got those trees extracted from the dude that loves to blow leaves.
Maybe you just talked to him.
But he was pressure washing the other day, and it was 100 degrees out, and that noise is so loud.
It is,
and
but
it's just
I think
consistent.
that guy does not like to be inside his house.
Agree.
For me, I'm horrible with money, horrible at math and everything, accounting and taxes. Did you ever do your own taxes?
Absolutely not. I would screw them up. I've already absolutely not.
Horrible.
No.
So accounting and taxes.
There's nothing in me that says, you know what, I want to do my own taxes.
Yeah. Well, there was a time when you didn't make a ton of money and you just you would do the quick whatever it was.
Quicken, QuickBooks, or
whatever
Quicken.
it was.
TurboTax.
And it would come. You hit that last button and it would come up and be like, wait, let me start over.
Boy, surely I got more deductions. Don't
I'm not paying that. So I started going. You know, it was 88 miles. I had to drive to that Auburn football game. I'm gonna put that in.
I think for most of us, like I would never wrap my own presents. I can't. I tried it.
Oh, I can't either.
I would love to have a contest of that. Who wraps the best present? Because I know I'm terrible.
Oh
at it.
no, I'm
awful
worst.
at
The
it.
worst.
Yeah, Maggie's great at it. I cannot wrap a package.
I start out bad. I can't even cut it straight.
Me
like
too.
I
Well, the
cut
new
it,
thing
it's
is-
all wonky like that.
To
Well, the
this
new thing
day,
is
I
just-
could not. I don't know how they do the corners.
Yeah, the corners are impossible.
Well, the new thing is you just get a big bag and put it in there and
That's
stuff
absolutely
like
right.
That's what I
Put
do.
those
I can't
papers
even
in
do
there.
the tissue paper right
You know,
there.
just it's better
Well,
than
I
trying
can't
to
either.
wrap it.
I try to get it to hang out a little bit.
Fluff it.
I
at
mean,
the top.
a lot of people have it looks like the perfect pocket squares,
Yeah.
like 5 of them shooting out.
It's a skill.
It really is.
Okay, remember that one for around Christmas. Let's do a
Yeah, it's a
wrapping.
good video.
That'd be
Yeah.
a good
We'll
content.
show everybody our packages,
Fourth down.
That'd be what you want to put on the hashtag.
and then we'll wrap the presents. What are you embarrassed to admit that you like?
God, I thought of something like about this like 3 or 4 weeks ago. I don't remember, but I've got to admit, and this is so pathetic, but I used to watch, I think Boy Loves World or something with Jack on Disney, and Sabrina Carpenter was on that.
Boy Meets Girl.
No, it was
Girl
a
Meets
follow-up.
World. Girl Meets World.
Girl Meets World.
They have a daughter.
And Sabrina Carpenter's music recently, Espresso, Please, Please, Please. I mean, they're really cheesy songs. She has got a potty mouth, though. Didn't realize Disney Star would bust into it like that. But they're really catchy songs. But I think she's got 3 number 10s right now. And so I hate to admit that I like a former Disney star's music right now. Very embarrassing.
MyBookie.ag. Patrick says Bridgerton. Is that yours, Brown?
So I was playing golf with my pastor the other day. Lance knows my pastor well. George
we
Wright.
had lunch last week.
Yeah.
Great guy, man. I lean on that guy for a lot of advice.
He's a good dude. George Wright. You know, just a normal guy, all right. Shades Melton Baptist. Shout out George Wright.
Preachers are people, too.
Preachers are people, too. And we were playing golf, and we were talking about struggling to find things that we like to watch with our wives, like both of us like. And he goes, so what are you and Jennifer watching right now? Well, a show called Bridgerton. And he goes, yeah, I haven't watched that one yet. I was like, yeah, don't. No, you're a man of the cloth. Don't do that to yourself.
I'm with you, Chris. Grocery shopping, for some reason, I do like that. I don't know why, but I like it. This is weird, and it says a lot about my personality, the narcissist I am, but I like to go grocery shopping when I want to go grocery shopping. I can't stand when Maggie texts me and says, hey, will you go to the grocery store and buy this? And it's like 9 things. I like to just go walk the aisles and buy whatever I want and not be told to go. When I get told to go, I don't want to go.
Your daily list, is it on your cell phone, or does she put it on a Post-it, index card?
She sends it with a picture of my balls in her purse. Yeah. Is that what you're saying?
That's a nice way of stepping into that one.
I do call her before I leave here every day and say, hey, do I need to bring anything home for you? I'm not the best husband, so I try to do nice things like that. What about you?
And how happy are you when she's actually yes? You're like, damn it.
No, it's exactly.
Offering. She's like, you're coming home.
No.
15 years together, Rockstar. You know exactly.
Play golf again today.
Yeah, 15 years. You know exactly. Like if she ever says, yeah, would you please? And I'm like, damn it, I shouldn't have asked.
Oh, you broke up there. I'm sorry, I cut you. Mine was I love King of Queens.
Oh, Kevin James?
I love Kevin James.
Early
it's
on,
such a bad sitcom, but I think I've seen probably 95% of the episodes.
I thought early on it wasn't all that bad.
I'm not a big
Jerry
fan
Stiller is hilarious.
Jerry Stiller is incredible.
I've just never liked Kevin James. I don't know why. And so the other day, both Maddie and Jack tried to get me to watch Grown Ups. And Jack's tried 100 times, and I feel bad. And I almost started pouting. I was like, I don't want to waste an hour and a half on this movie. Yeah, I was like, I don't. Let's find something good. Yeah, I'm not watching Grown Ups. And I don't know. I'm to the point, like, it's almost worth a poll question. Should I watch Grown Ups? I know it's going to be awful.
Well, have you seen Hitch?
I have not seen Hitch.
Hitch is good, and he's great in that. He's a minor character.
Have you seen Grown Ups?
I've seen parts of Grown Ups when they played it on Comedy Central. I can't say
one of you two had to have seen Grown Ups.
I've not seen Grown Ups. I think I've seen Hitch. Is that Adam Sandler and
Will Smith?
No. Okay.
No, it's Will Smith and Kevin James.
Okay.
Kevin James. Yeah.
Which one are they both firemen and they're trying to?
That's Chuck
pronounce
and
Chuck
and
Larry. Chuck and Larry.
Yeah,
that's what Jessica Biel.
And then you got
great Jessica Biel scene, by the way. Yeah.
Paul Blart, which he's done some bad stuff. I'm not going to argue.
He plays a lot of the same character, but like King of Queens was just, it wasn't just him. It was just a good
Paul
show.
Blart was his coup de grace, right?
Oh yeah. They made Paul Blart.
Do you remember the time we had we used to have Mike Vrabel on weekly?
Papa Vrabes?
Yep. Yeah, Papa Vrabes was like, I'm about to take the kids to see Paul Blart. I was like, you need to drop them off.
Are you in Jacksonville, Florida, by chance?
They're going to another movie.
Okay, so Grown Ups, I'm on
go
it.
see it.
Okay, I will watch it. I might even watch it tonight. I've got.
I mean, you got Chris Rock and David Spade. I mean, it can't be that bad.
I have twisted Leighton's arm to spend the night tonight. So I'm very excited about that.
I'm watching Suits now. I never watched it.
That's actually a good show.
It's fairly cheesy, but
I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, I've heard from like real attorneys that it's very cheesy.
Yeah. It is cheesy, but 5 episodes into season 1. You actually came up yesterday because Maggie apparently has tried to get me. I think their 9th season's about to come back now.
Of Suits?
Yeah, for the 9th season. And I think she has watched it all. And we have a running joke in the house where she tries to tell me to watch something, and until LT mentions it to me that I never watch it.
Yeah.
And so yesterday I was like, God, I'm really into this show Suits now. I've watched 5 episodes in 3 days. And she's like, oh, let me guess. I tried to get you to watch it for the last 8 years. LT's watching it now, so you're watching it? It's too cheesy for LT.
Very, very polarizing. Like, people love it, or they're like, it's awful.
Yeah. It's a little cheesy, but I like it. That is our 4 Downs today, brought to you by our friends at Slice. Tell us about Slice.
Yeah, stop in for a slice and a salad. It is local pizza, local ingredients, best pizza out there. So unique with the way they do their pizzas, from the Hot Mama, the Wing and a Prayer, the Soul Pie, the Bajaya Special. You can go online to check out all these great pizzas. Get one on the way home. Be the hero. Pick it up for dinner. Go to slicebirmingham.com or stop in to one of those great 5 locations.
Our JohnstonRVCenter.com recruiting update today. On the move in college football, where these folks will be located with our friends at Johnston RV. Alabama picked up a 4-star linebacker.
Where's he from?
He is from Kansas.
That's not the South.
It's not.
Maybe they were right about Kalen DeBoer. Can't recruit the South.
Picks Alabama over Nebraska. Dawson Merritt's his name, 4-star linebacker, top 100 guy, and one of the best linebackers available. Picks Alabama over Nebraska. Alabama now has 19 hard commitments, and according to 24/7 Composite, number 2.
You don't have the list in front of you, do you?
I do
can
not.
pull it up quick. What do
USC
you
Wall
want?
State, another one in Isaiah Gibson, the number 3 defensive end to Georgia. I just don't know what's going on. I don't know if they're giving them money up front and they're just like, okay, I appreciate the $10,000. I'll give you a verbal, and then they don't have to. I really don't know what's going on.
You're asking me where USC is?
Yeah.
16th and 24/7. That's the one I had pulled up.
Yeah, and
12 commitments.
And I think they were top 5 for a minute.
Cardi Smith, and this is to your point, LT, it doesn't matter until they sign. 4-star offensive tackle Cardi Smith from down in the Mobile area, 6'6", 290, decommitted from Auburn yesterday. And Hayes Fawcett, who covers it for On3 Sports, points out he's been a commitment for Auburn since April. May,
Slow
June.
Slow ride. Had to come to an end sometime.
Lifetime commitment to Auburn. 2 months. When we come back, final hour of the show that's brought to you today by our friends at johnstonrvcenter.com.
I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. That's where their lots are located. They have repriced both those lots. So confident, in fact, in their pricing. They will beat any price. That is a nationwide guarantee. Just bring them a price on a comparable RV. They will beat it at Johnston RV Center. Also, they love the United States military the way we do on this show. Any active duty or retired veterans, they will give you a great discount. Just a very small way of saying thank you for your service. Also, RV warranty forever. New and qualified pre-owned RVs, lifetime warranties. I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur, johnstonrvcenter.com.
Never miss anything Auburn. Watch Village Vice at Wardam Pods on YouTube and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new chicken bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the bayou, the amazing hand-patty burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Hey, you. Summer's here. Time to get hot. And at New Balance Birmingham, that's just what we got. For a summertime vibe, see what's inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on The Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at The Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Maybe you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or TikTok. While we're changing the game yet again, Tyler's Telegrams has been developed exclusively for you.
Hi, this is the lovable boy you know as Tyler the Intern. I'm a businessman now. I will come directly to your door and tell you every time a new piece of TNR content drops. For the low, low price of $740,000, you can be notified by me, one of the biggest stars of The Next Round, about that thing you missed. Sure, the rest of those social media services are free, but so is radio, and we all know how well that's trending.
Tyler's Telegrams is currently operating exclusively in Bibb County. Other social media platforms are available everywhere.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
A lot to get to in this final 47 minutes or so of the show. May go a little over today. We'll find out. Hang out with us the rest of the way. Dunaway, Brown, LT with you. Rockstar, Forrester, Lunceford, Tyler. EG's got a new edition of the Pennant Grace live today at 12:15. It serves as a pregame lead-in to afternoon Braves baseball. Braves and White Sox in a rivalry game up here between EG's Braves and Forrester's White Sox today at Old Comiskey Park. I don't know what they call it now.
It's guaranteed rate field.
Yeah. Braves and White Sox 3:10 today, but pregame with us on the Pennant Grace live today at 12:15 on this platform right here. And make sure you like and subscribe on their social medias as well. Great stuff with Ush and EG with the Pennant Grace today. New Uncorked mailbag coming up, and a special announcement today from Uncorked as well, and what Taylor's working on.
How did Forrester's White Sox do against the Dodgers?
I don't know.
I'm kidding.
It didn't go great.
Did it not? Didn't go great?
No.
Well, when you lose the game where Crochet is pitching, which is the only time you have any shot.
It was great. You know, Crochet was only like a plus 120 dog against that lineup, though. That shows you how good that kid is.
Yeah, he struck Ohtani out twice.
There you go. He can tell his kids about that.
That's right. Guess what I did,
Of course,
son?
he might be pitching for the Dodgers one day.
This hour brought to you by our friends at Champy's world-famous fried chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Sterling and the crew keeping you on top of everything that is fantastic and great Southern cooking. That includes the deep-fried chicken, brined overnight, cooked to order, comes out piping hot. I love the two breasts and the sides there. Hand-cut chicken fingers, Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, and everything for your office party, your tailgate, and a lot more throughout the football season. Champy'schicken.com. Champy'schicken.com. Speaking of football season, we have new uniforms, maybe the best ever from a team that does 62 uniforms a year.
Okay, so Oregon's best ever?
The Oregon Ducks unveiled their new Generation O uniform. The Fly era taking off here. The Ducks uniform, that's a cool look. I like it.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad. I don't know if I love it. I mean, it's hard to tell the difference of a lot of these Oregon uniforms.
I know.
Like if you would have said, hey, they've played in this uniform right here 17 times over the last decade, I could believe that.
Yeah, and they're 12-4 or 12-5 in those games. I think it's a sleek look. It's their Generation O uniform there for the Oregon Ducks. But a different duck has a new uniform. They're throwing it back in Orange County. They're working in the orange and bringing back the Mighty Duck logo for the Anaheim Ducks. I don't remember them being orange. I think they're playing into being in Orange County, OC.
Oh, I think I remember a little green and a little orange.
Oh, they had a little green orange in it? Okay.
I think so. I didn't like that movie. I don't necessarily like these uniforms.
I never saw the movie. But when
Emilio Estevez, best work.
Mighty Ducks?
Yeah.
It's not a bad film.
By the way, I was looking so forward to that that documentary on there's the old school.
Oh, the documentary was awful.
Yeah. I remember
Andrew McCarthy seems like such
that's what got
dick.
me. I watched for 10 minutes and he was getting on my nerves, LT, because he was getting so emotional when he went to talk to Emilio about how it impacted his life when they got labeled the Brat Pack.
The Brat Pack. I don't know if you've seen it, Rocky.
It's on Hulu.
It's worth it just because. So there's a Rolling Stone a journalist, reporter that sits down to do a piece on Emilio Estevez, and it turns into the whole Brat Pack, and he labels them the Brat Pack, and they all blame him for ruining their careers. Well, maybe you just weren't a good actor.
Yeah.
Like
Some of y'all got out of it, too.
Everyone did okay except for the guy, McCarthy.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Judd Nelson didn't do anything. Anthony Michael Hall, Molly Ringwald really didn't do anything. Emilio Estevez had moments.
Rob Lowe and Demi Moore were perfectly fine.
Yeah,
Anthony Michael Hall came back and did that. The Stephen King, The Dead Zone. He had like a whole thing where he did like 5 or 6 seasons of The Dead Zone. I mean, he
just
stuff.
played somebody's dad in something recently that
so
I was watching. I mean, look, he's still getting work. I'm just saying they weren't, for a minute, they were A-list guys just because of their association or whatever. Demi Moore ended up being okay. I think a lot of that probably had to do with the look. And
Rob Lowe was perfectly fine.
But he never did anything big. Like, he wasn't a leading man. He wasn't like an A-list guy. I mean, he was doing things like Tommy Boy.
Yeah. No, he did TV. He did a lot of TV, I guess.
He did Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec, West Wing.
But he was a supporting guy.
Yeah.
I'm just saying he was never kind of a go-to, and they blame being labeled the Brat Pack, which I thought was so stupid. And so he goes around and he does get some pretty good interviews. I mean, Emilio sits down with him, Demi Moore sits down with him,
Rob Lowe.
Yeah, Rob Lowe, Leah Thompson. He can't get Judd Nelson, and who else couldn't he get? Molly Ringwald.
Yeah.
You get Anthony Michael Hall? Did you get Ali Sheedy?
Yeah.
You got Ali Sheedy.
Okay.
Yeah, but we learned when Molly wanted to come on our show that she does not want to talk about the A's.
That's the one thing she doesn't want to do.
Nobody wants to talk to Molly Ringwald.
That's the one thing anybody wants to talk about. All right.
All right. Show being brought to you before we get to the phones here by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision LT.
So I had a friend go this morning, and it was another problem behind the eye. So
no.
Michelson couldn't do anything for him. But look, that's the integrity that Dr. Mark Michelson has. You come in, you're not a candidate, he's going to let you know that. There's some other places up there, they would just do the procedure. Not at Michelson Laser Vision. I went in over 20 years ago. I had the 2200 vision. I was legally blind without the aid of contacts. I now have 2015 vision, better than 2020. Make the phone call that I made, 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. Ask about the pre-inflation pricing. You have nothing to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. For more information, michelsonlaservision.com.
Jeff in Anniston is with us on the phones today, 205-734-0923. Jeff, how you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey.
I've been enjoying the Euros. Yesterday was one of the few times I've pulled for Georgia ever.
Yeah, one of the biggest upsets in soccer history.
Oh, yes, it was. And I was talking to this Indian dude who owns a store, opened up the store nearby a few months back, and we were chatting a bit, and I was telling him I was getting some brew to watch a match, and I asked him if cricket was his favorite sport, and he said, yeah. So I told him the big-ass cricket joke, and he laughed his ass off.
That's a compliment to Rockstar.
So you went to get beer. There's an Indian guy behind the counter. You stereotype him and ask him if cricket is his favorite sport.
Well, yeah, but we've kind of become friends. You know, we talk a good bit, and hell, let's face it, them Indians love their cricket.
Yeah,
I told myself, I said, if one day I want to come down for a couple of hours and have you explain the rules to me, because he was telling me there's 3 different types. He was trying to get all into it, and I said, I ain't got time right now. But I wish I'd have done it in Gary the Gator's voice, so that's been the only thing. But in breaks, I like seeing y'all's viewers' picks, but I also miss seeing some of the older videos. My top 3 would probably be Rocky's Brian Kelly video, Brown at Alien Nation getting chased, and y'all in the sumo suits, and that newest one with everybody going out dancing on stage would be up there real high too. Do y'all have a favorite one of those type videos?
I haven't really thought about it.
I haven't either.
No. I mean, just to be honest with you, I haven't really thought about it.
Y'all probably don't watch them as much.
We don't watch them as much as you guys do.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
it is a sprint to the bathroom and back in our breaks, so that's normally what I'm doing, or catching up on something.
All right. Thanks for the non-answers.
I was honest.
Say your team is stacked in the NFL, except at quarterback. Taking Mahomes off the table, which current quarterback would you want?
I'm still going to go with Joe Burrow. I say that, but I don't know if you can trust him to stay healthy. That's the only thing that worries me. Like, I think he's the best pure second quarterback behind Mahomes.
I tell you, I might go Jordan Love because of his age.
Yeah, I just want to see a little bit more.
I do too.
Final
That's why
8 games, he was great last year.
But his age, if you got Jordan Love right now.
What about C.J. Stroud?
I mean, again, it's 1 year. So is Jordan Love, though. I mean,
so are you saying for 1 year?
You're just noting for the rest of the career, yeah.
Looking at for the next 5 years, whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
or make it for 1 year. I mean, would you think about Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, I would for 1 year.
I think for 1 year, yeah.
I'll take my man Matt Stafford. You heard C.J. Stroud saying Stafford's better than Aaron Rodgers.
Well, it's got to be that. Okay, you're the AD of a good, above-average program. Who do you take, Kiffin or Heupel?
Heupel.
Kiffin.
Everybody.
Man, that is a tough one right there.
Now, I will say this. Kiffin seems to be immature, but Heupel, some of the way he handled some of the losses last year, wasn't his best look.
But I I don't know, man. I'd like to see just a little bit. I think I've got a pretty good feel for who Kiffin is. I'd like to see a little bit more
see
out of
this year.
Heupel.
I think I can answer that question after this year. I really believe that.
Yeah, but I will tell you, I'm starting to feel like Ole Miss is not going to live up to
I don't think they are, but
yeah.
I've got the feel on Kiffin. I think I know who Kiffin is.
Well, if they don't, I mean, Kiffin's got the most beneficial schedule out there.
Yeah.
All right, what if I said Drinkowitz or Leopold?
Boy, I'd go with Leopold. I don't like Drinkwitz.
Leipold, right?
Lance Leipold.
Oh,
Leipold. The Kansas coach.
I think I would go Leipold, but I do think he's just. I think the people on television love him, and we've now believed the fact that he's got Kansas good. Even though
you just said he's got Kansas good.
But so did Mark Mangino.
You think he's a Dan Mullen?
And I think Mangino could coach. I just think you go back and you look at his resume. He's won absolutely everywhere he's been.
Yeah, but I would probably go Leipold.
Has there ever,
or Leipold.
y'all has there ever been a blind porn star?
You know, Jeff, I don't know that.
Better have a trustworthy friend on set. If
they didn't know what was going on.
That might be, and you've, I don't know, in the history of us doing a show, you've asked 15,000 random questions. That might be the most random question you've ever asked.
It's one of the best Frank Drebin lines on Naked Gun. He said, like a blind man in an orgy, I'd have to feel my way around.
If y'all know this, or Scott, maybe
that's good.
Why there's a mercy rule in softball but not in baseball in college?
I don't know that.
Don't know why.
I don't. I have no earthly idea.
I don't have a good answer for that.
Yeah.
I don't know either. I heard y'all talking in Melton yesterday about 1A running back. You know, Herschel played at 1A Wright School, and I can remember. I mean, even way back then, it was big news when he got recruited, and they were showing highlights. Here's a 6'1", 215 ball of muscle that can run a 9.6 and 100. Running past 180-pound linemen and 150-pound defensive backs. I think he had over 4,000 yards his senior year.
I wonder
he was a
what
1A.
That yards per carry was, because Brown, I forgot the recruit you were talking about that averaged over 16 per.
Yeah, it's the kid that flipped from Penn State to Auburn. He's 15.7 a carry.
Yeah. That's incredible. I imagine Herschel's was probably pushing get over 4,000 yards.
Yeah, got to be.
People were saying, and I don't know this to be factual, that Yulee High School, where Derrick Henry played, is a rather small school in Florida. I don't know if that's true or not, but Derrick Henry was dominant in high school in the state of Florida.
I don't know how big it was, but he was unstoppable.
He was unstoppable. I do know that.
Yep.
And, you know, seeing that Ron Slay video, I could picture Brown doing that a couple of months ago when Jack State's women's bowling team won the national championship.
That's a big moment for me.
Give me my neck.
Yes.
Say it. Go Cox. Go Cox.
That's right. Y'all don't hate me.
And, you know, Jackson Arnold's a stud. I'm telling you, he's going to be great. And I agree with y'all. Oklahoma has a better football history than Texas.
They do.
But it seems to me like they're losing a lot of their prestige by going in the SEC. And I understand why they had to do it, but I think they would have kept or probably enhanced their prestige more if they had just stayed put. Do y'all think so?
I mean, they would have had a easy path to the college football playoff, but
then they would get there.
But less money in the program.
You just talk about your money. And it shows you, Jeff, that money outweighs absolutely everything. But with that money, I mean, why can't Oklahoma be really competitive in the SEC? I mean, Missouri was competitive last year. Ole Miss is competitive. Oklahoma can be competitive.
Yeah.
But don't you think they're already kind of getting slid down the pecking order, even though they got a better history than Texas?
But I think most people that don't do the research, you would say who's got a better history, Texas or Oklahoma? They would say Texas, even if they're not coming into the SEC.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, two quick questions. I promise. Will Deshaun Watson ever be a top 8 quarterback again?
I don't think so, unfortunately. I don't know if it was the time off, the mentality. He's got everything around him he needs in Cleveland to win.
I kind of think that way too. Well, then that leads to, will Tomlin ever win another Super Bowl?
No.
Damn it. All right, I agree with y'all, but I was hoping I'd get
unless, the only thing I would say, if Justin Fields, and I think Justin Fields got a ton of potential, just wasn't in the best situation in Chicago. If Justin Fields, it all comes together, who knows?
Yeah, but still a really good defense,
Yeah.
2 really good running backs. And they play a style of football that could win a lot of games. They're just in a tough division.
Can keep it between the ears. George Pickens can be an elite receiver.
Yep. Thank you, Jeff, man. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
guys.
The show being brought to you today by our friends at Hemp Hill Services. We'll get to trash coming up in a second. One more thing in this segment after you tell us about Hemp Hill.
Trusted name Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. It's our friends at Hemp Hill. Whether you experience any of those issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. 205-229-2090. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Tell them the next round sent you. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
On3 Sports released their top 25 offensives a few minutes ago for coming up for the upcoming season. Actually, from EA Sports College Football, the offenses will be ranked this way: Georgia, Oregon, Alabama, Texas, Ohio State, LSU, Miami, Colorado, Missouri, Clemson. That list. Is it better than their home field advantage list?
Got Penn State number 12. James Franklin hadn't had a top 12 offense in his life.
Colorado, Shedeur is really, really good.
Yep.
But to put them in the top 10, and then I love how they have to close out the top 25. Let's squeeze Lincoln Riley in. Their offense is still going to be really good.
They do it uneven just to make sure they get USC in there.
Yeah, UCF 21 ahead of Florida State, Oklahoma, Virginia Tech, and USC.
And where do you get NC State? Like, I think Grace McWhorter's good, but NC State's kind of the Kentucky of the ACC. Defense is always good. Offense always struggles.
New trailer dropped yesterday. The game's going to be amazing, but their home field advantage, best offense, best defense rankings are out of whack. Bad list.
Where do they have Clemson right there?
Clemson, give me that list again.
Number 10.
Number 10.
If Clemson's got a top 10 offense, watch out.
Oh, no, they'll probably be in the top 4 seeds.
They'll be in the college football playoff,
As Sam points out, UAB was a top 20 offense last year in real football, not in the game. Thank you, Sam, part of the mybookie.ag chat room over there. We'll get to trash when we come back. Bud Light brings you this show. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Back in a moment.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries, to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new chicken bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the bayou, the amazing hand patty burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville.
Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemp Hill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the next round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemp Hill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemp Hill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with a TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Hey, you. Summer's here. Time to get hot. And at New Balance Birmingham, that's just what we got. For a summertime vibe, see what's inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
By the way, Longhorn Network not dead. It will be a streaming-only service for Texas programming, not going away. I wonder if ESPN is still paying them. I think it was a 20-year deal originally. But they're going to keep it alive on they're going to have an app for it, all the smartphones, the tablets, and the streaming online at your video services for the Longhorn Network. Last year, they broadcast 175 live Texas sporting events. I assume all that will be on ESPN Plus, not on Longhorn Network.
I think I've seen one Texas game on the Longhorn Network. Like, I didn't realize for a while that it was on DirecTV. Now I'm off DirecTV, but I never really knew that. But I really don't, like, I never sat back and watched anything outside of maybe that one Texas game.
This is crazy, but the only thing I remember watching on the Longhorn Network, which president has their presidential library in Austin?
Lyndon B. Johnson.
Something was happening, and they were doing something. I don't know if it was a debate or it was a Lyndon B. Johnson anniversary or something, and they had a big something going on in his library. And I watched an hour of that.
Sounds exhilarating, Jeff.
through the roof excitement.
Did you lose the remote? I mean, what happened there?
Inverness Country Club, if you're looking for something a lot more exciting to do with your life.
Yeah, hey, look, Inverness, they've got something for everyone out at Inverness Country Club. If you're a golfer, if you need childcare, if you just like playing pickleball and hanging out by the pool. Social membership, including that resort-style pool, the golf membership, beautiful course, currently expanding the driving range. Maybe you travel for work or pleasure. Ask about the Heritage Plus option, where you have access to courses at 37 other clubs around the country. John Willard, our friend, he's got that membership because he travels a little bit, takes advantage of that. Childcare, as I mentioned, big plus. You and your wife on a day of golf or tennis. Guess what? You can drop the kid, go have yourself a day on the court or course. Dinner with friends, knowing your kid is safe on site, massive plus. Maybe you work from home. What about working from the club while they watch your kid? Whatever your interests are, you can find it at Inverness. They even have a vineyard club. Best days happen at Inverness. Take a tour of this unbelievable club. Call Erin. Tell her the next round sent you. 205-991-8608. That's 205-991-8608 or online, iccalabama.com. Imagine having pool, having golf, having a great place to have dinner, meet new friends, network. You're going to love it. It's all right there at Inverness Country Club.
Two things on TV. If you want to watch today, the gymnastics USA team trials to decide who's on their way to Paris in 28 days. Suni Lee is back defending her title as well in some apparatuses. 5 o'clock on Peacock and USA. And 15-year-old Miles Russell makes his PGA Tour debut today at the Rocket Mortgage. That is on the Golf Channel this afternoon, 1 to 3, some coverage there.
You're not going to mention the debate tonight at 8 o'clock?
The debate is happening tonight as well.
Man, I can't believe
I can't imagine it's going to be a great night in American history.
Me and Rocky and Brown, and, I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they were like, if Biden doesn't get a drug test, I just don't know how they're going to do this. And
so
then Rocky
ridiculous.
brought up, or did you bring up they can't
There's
have stools?
some sort of debate about whether they're going to sit or not. I mean, this is it's wrought for disaster tonight.
That gets us to trash, brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right, the big button Rockstar.
Do y'all usually start before 8 o'clock with a chainsaw?
What time is it, sir?
Well, it's after 8 now. You guys started firing it up at 7:55.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
By the way, when my tree guys came out, it was a little after 9 o'clock.
Yeah, you made sure they didn't start early, right?
Yeah. Our trash always brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right. They were veteran founded here in Birmingham, offer loans throughout the country. While the area they serve may have grown, their commitment to Birmingham and veterans has not changed. Before you take the next steps on a new home purchase or refinance, talk with the team at Mortgage Right. No cost or obligation to find out what you qualify for. You can get more information by going to their website, or you can call their Birmingham office, Highway 280, 205-900-7200, NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender. Now, this is just part of dating and part of being married. A lot of people have to drop people off at the airport.
Mm-hmm.
After her boyfriend of 6.5 years bailed on taking her to the airport for a flight she ended up missing, a young woman decided to take the man to court in an attempt to get back some of the money for the journey.
My gosh.
Now, the unnamed woman from New Zealand testified in front of a tribunal that she had entered into a, quote, verbal contract with a partner that he would take her to the airport and look after her dogs. She was on her way to the airport to catch a flight, watch a concert overseas when she realized that her boyfriend was not going to be completing his end of the ill-fated bargain. The woman complained to the tribunal that she incurred considerable costs for having to add another day of travel, organizing a shuttle to the airport, and putting her dogs in a kennel. She also paid for ferry tickets for her and her boyfriend to go on a holiday at a separate time to visit her sons, and argued she should be reimbursed for the cost of the ticket. Nevertheless, the claim was dismissed. The tribunal stated that an agreement to be enforceable, there needed to be an intention to create a, quote, legally binding relationship. Should probably go without saying that the couple has parted ways after the incident.
You don't think we can get over this?
I would imagine you took me to small claims court.
I mean, it's probably like I'm dropping you off to go, overseas, hang out with a bunch of chicks at a concert, and pick up other dudes.
And you can imagine they were probably just perfect before this happened.
Oh, yeah. No toxicity at all.
But it's New Zealand, right? So she was probably going to Australia.
It could be. She'd be going to Tanzania.
Could have been going to Spain.
That's right. Could have been going to Ireland.
Philippines.
I could have used this back in the DirecTV days. Customers who phone into support call centers could soon have their voices changed to make them sound less angry or upset to call center workers.
Why is my TV not working?
Now, Japanese telecom
I'm
company...
going to snap your neck if you don't reconnect my cable.
Investment firm called SoftBank is developing what it calls Soft Voice, an AI-powered emotional canceling tool for call center workers. Soft Voice allows its users to be able to, quote, change the voice they're listening to so that it sounds more calm and less angry with the click of a button. Now, SoftBank reportedly hired 10 actors to help train Soft Voice, and the AI was fed over 10,000 pieces of voice data. The AI is supposed to be able to detect angry voice tones and yelling and will soften the offending voice. The AI is designed to remove all of the angry notes entirely, but leaves just a slight hint of the frustration so that the call center responder is still able to get some vague sense of how to respond. I mean, this is just part of it, right? If you work in that environment, you're going to get people that have an over-the-top tone.
I don't think anybody takes a job in over-the-phone customer service that doesn't think I'm going to get yelled at, right?
Right.
I mean, if you want everybody to love you, go drive an ice cream truck or something like that. I mean, that's just, it's part of the job. You're just going to get yelled at.
But I have learned that you can't, tone apparently is so important. Like if you use... which I still don't understand. And today, we are a very soft society, but if you used a little bit of an aggressive tone, people get so soft and beat up. I don't know if you guys have watched Presumed Innocent on Apple. It's 4 episodes deep with Jake Gyllenhaal. It's been really good. By the way, I'm going to predict Bill Camp will be nominated for Best Supporting Actor for Golden Globe, probably Emmys as well. And I saw the movie with Harrison Ford. I'm assuming it's going to kind of end like that. I'm trying to hope that maybe it doesn't. But man, you talking about getting animated in the workplace. Jake Gyllenhaal, next level.
It's interesting. So you would say tone versus word, or words mean more than tone. And I would argue the opposite on how you really feel about what you're saying. I would say tone means more than words.
Yeah, but I think sometimes if people don't listen, I think you've got to change your tone. Yeah, because you can't keep saying the same thing at the same tone if people aren't going to listen.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think and I think LT did too. A lot of people grew up, where you were part of a sports team and being yelled at by a coach. I've been yelled at, I yell back and forth, and then it's over with. You just go on and move on.
No, but all I'm saying is I think tone tells more about your true feelings than words.
Well, I don't know. If you call somebody an MF-er in a nice voice, I mean, I would rather somebody raise their voice a little bit. I don't know. I just grew up in a workplace where even at Jocks, I had former bosses that screamed at me, and I just walked out and I was like,
"Oh no, I'm not saying it bothers me, but I'm just saying I think it tells more about your feelings.
You can't do it in the workplace.
No, when you particularly pick certain words, that bothers me more than yelling. I mean, yelling is, that's part of sports, in my opinion.
No, I'm not saying it bothers me. I'm just saying it tells more about your
worst
true
AI
feelings.
story, though.
Yeah.
That's out today. I haven't gotten to it, but it fits in right here off of that AI real quick. And this is true. I've seen it in 2 places now. NBC in the upcoming Olympics will use an AI voice for recap videos on what has happened throughout the day. It's Al Michaels' artificial intelligence voice, AI voice.
Well, what's he charging them for that?
Yeah, there's no telling.
I don't know, but Al Michaels has signed off on it. But what freaks me out is they could just have Al Michaels do it.
He literally works for the company, doesn't he?
Or what should freak you out if you're a broadcaster is they could have, once Al Michaels is passed, his estate could get money for him continuing to voice once he's dead.
Which means somebody doesn't get that job.
Right.
But in 28 days, recap videos will be Al Michaels' AI voice. Recap openings is what it's saying. And it's going to say, hello, I'm Al Michaels.
Hello, I am Al Michaels.
We'll see.
AI Michaels.
So Little
Al's
T,
heard it. Al's heard it and says it sounds just like it.
I brought this story up to Little T yesterday, and she sent me a picture of the female. I don't know if you've got her, Rocky. Boy, we have a friend that is no longer married, and you'll understand after I tell the story, but he was afraid his wife was going to poison him. So they have since called off the relationship years ago, but deputies have arrested a woman accused of spiking her husband's Mountain Dew with Roundup.
That is aggressive.
Michelle Peters, 47, faces charges of first-degree domestic assault and armed criminal action. I would think attempted murder, too.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you don't have weeds in your throat anymore.
Deputies...
She's sneaky tall, by the way, at 6 feet.
Arrested Peters on Monday. Investigators say she added the Roundup to her husband's Mountain Dew on several occasions during May and June. They also say she spiked the drink with an insecticide. It is, quote, a different type of domestic assault, according to the sheriff.
This is a different flavor Mountain Dew. Is this a special summer blast?
Yeah, this blast is a little
Mountain Dew Roundup.
I'll continue to drink it though.
Investigators say he began to suspect something was wrong with his drink. After feeling ill, victim provided surveillance video to investigators that indicated Peters was tampering with Mountain Dew in the garage refrigerator. Victim told authorities he was the only one in the home who drank Mountain Dew kept in the refrigerator. He ought to just have one of those little Yeti jumpers and just keep his Mountain Dew in that.
Yeah,
or just leave the wife. Time to go home.
Yeah.
Now, Sheriff Millsap says Peters finally admitted to putting the weed killer in her husband's drink, says she was mad at him because he didn't appreciate the 50th birthday party she threw for him.
Okay, now I feel bad.
Now, the good news is the husband did survive.
Well, that is good news.
The funny thing about this, my buddy would, if he was drinking milk, anything where the seal was broken, if he didn't finish it, he would not drink it again once it was in the refrigerator. And he came home one time from a trip, and wife had food on the table, and he was like, that ain't normal.
Yeah.
And she had already eaten, and she was just eyeballing him to eat, and he was like, I'm not really hungry. And she was like, why won't you eat it? Why won't you eat it? And he finally was just like, I'm not hungry, and she threw it out and stuff. And
to live with that paranoia must be rough.
It's just got to be awful. The chat room, the MyBookie.ag chat room, obsessed with the fact that she is almost 6'2", playing the post, basically, in a relationship.
It's a tall chick.
And then Vol Fan says, my favorite Ron White joke is, I'm between 5'10" and 6'2", depending on which gas station I'm walking out of that day.
100%.
That's so good.
100%.
I was in, it is true. I was in walk-ons the other day, and I didn't realize they had on a professional women's softball league. And the thing that jumped out to me was the pitcher was 6'2".
That's good.
Was it now Montana Fouts? I think it's only 4 teams, and she's pitching for one of them.
No, it wasn't her. Is she 6'2"?
She's pretty tall.
She's taller than me.
Rusty says she looks like a young Charlene from Ozark.
Oh, that's a great call. I was trying to be. She looked familiar.
What was her name?
Darlene?
No, Charlene. Was it Charlene?
It's not
I think it was Darlene.
It was Darlene.
Darlene?
Speaking
the
of poisoning
iconic
people.
Empire State Building. Have you guys ever been?
Never been.
Oh, yeah.
So I was in New York, and family went. I really had no desire to go, so I went to this really cool bar around the corner. I looked up at it.
I see it.
Yeah. Anyway, it is the #1 attraction in the world for the first time ever by TripAdvisor. The site just released its 2024 Traveler's Choice Awards for the best things to do, which highlights the highest rated attractions and experiences in the U.S. and around the world. Here are just some. The Colosseum in Italy.
I would like to see that.
That is number 6 on the. Number 7 is the Louvre Museum.
I would probably like to
France.
go to the Louvre.
Would you? Really?
Yeah.
They blew it up in Team America, didn't they?
And before they blow it up again, I'd like to see it.
Let me see. Anne Frank's house is number 3. I would like to see that. I heard it really is small.
Well, can you? I would imagine. Can you go into the room where the place where they hid? Do you know any details on
they
it?
show like the passageway and everything.
Yeah, no, I think I'd be really interested in that. I like Anne Frank.
That's the first one I'm out.
Oh, really? You want to go to that?
I would love.
I loved
to see
Anne. I loved Anne Frank when I was in high school.
Number 2 is the Eiffel Tower. This is one I've got no desire to do. Like I'll stare at it from the bottom. I don't want to walk those stairs.
Yeah.
They've got elevators.
I just throw a beret off when you're at the top. Then with the dog.
Emily in Paris has me wanting to go see this.
Yeah.
And then number 1 is the Empire State Building.
I don't get the Empire State Building.
Me either.
Yeah.
That's not even the tallest building in New York.
I'm going to tell you, it's a little overrated.
I knew that was coming.
I mean, it's tall, but
it's a building and it's tall, right?
And then get up there. Like, I was more impressed from Barclays' house, the way Atlanta looked, because I never had seen Atlanta from that view. New York looked exactly the way I thought it was going to look.
And finally, Tokyo, believe it or not, has become one of the less expensive cities to visit, at least for Americans. Now, this is thanks to a favorable exchange rate, but did you know you could stay at a hotel there for just $16? It's clean with an excellent mattress, offers free coffee and tea. The only catch is you have to share your room with a complete stranger.
Out.
This will not end bad.
Nope, out.
What if I take my wife and kids? Can we not stay together? We have to split up.
I do not know this lady.
A correspondent for Sora News 24 stayed a night at the hostel Senju for $16.
Oh, I'm not staying at a hostel.
Stayed in a shared dormitory room, which turned out to be a tiny room with just one bunk bed for 2 strangers. There was hardly any floor space, but the hostel will store your luggage for $1.25. If you want a towel, it's going to cost you $1.90. The bunk itself was clean and comfortable with power outlets, free air plugs provided, which will come in handy if your roommate is loud for whatever reason. This is not going to end good, I'm telling you.
Everyone keeps telling me that as they go through Europe, on these tours to Italy and Spain and wherever, and to Tokyo, the paying of going to the bathroom is the one thing that you have to pay a lot to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, foreigners are surprised you can use the restroom for free in the U.S. Yeah. So you say $14 a night? $16. Why don't I just pay $32 and I don't have to sleep with a stranger?
That's
I can
right.
just sleep there by myself.
Boom.
Isn't that the way to go?
Yeah. Welcome to America.
Or whoever you're traveling with,
you
guys
get the other
split
bunk.
the $32.
Yeah.
Yep. That is Trash Today, brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right.
Hey, if you're looking for a new home, our friends at Mortgage Right here to help. Whether you're a first-time buyer or a seasoned home buying veteran, whether you're looking for that final home or your first home, whether you have a big down payment or need 100% financing, Mortgage Right, one-stop shop for mortgages. Visit them online, mortgageright.com. Call 205-900-7200.
All right, one more thing to go, one more segment on the show that's brought to you by our friends at Champy's, world-famous fried chicken, champyschicken.com, Highway 119 in Alabaster. I tell you, a lot of things that I go to that ends up disappointing me, Champy's never has. Every time I go, best fried chicken in town. Over 10 years, Sterling and his crew right there on Highway 119 in Alabaster. Go by and say hi to him. It's Champy's Chicken, Highway 119, Alabaster.
Follow LT on Twitter at thelancetaylor.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone, the New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Take TNR on the go with a podcast built for your satisfaction. Miss Hour 1, find it in podcast form. Miss Hour 2, stream it now. Miss Hour 3, download it for later. Miss Hour 4, well, just know it's never coming back. Listen to TNR wherever you find podcasts.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954, That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation, 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you, 969-8100 or michelson-laservision.com.
You never know what we're up to here at the next round. The easiest way to stay in the know with our antics and adventures is to follow the next round across all social media platforms at Next Round Live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Whether it's Dunaway sleeping in the studio, Tim and Lunceford breaking down the latest movie release, or Game Day Chronicles, we are here to keep you updated on the latest sports news while, of course, having just a little bit of fun. Follow at Next Round Live across all platforms to join in.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
In the first quarter. I know.
The McAfee show is showing the Japan up 21-0 first quarter over the Americans, and they ended up getting beat. At least the Japanese called off the dogs and played the backups in the second half against the sport we invented.
21-0 in the first quarter.
Yeah. Bruce Pearl, earlier this week, speaking at the Auburn Ambush Tour as they go around and meet the fans and stuff, Bruce gets asked about Aiden Holloway ending up being at Alabama. Here's his reaction to his former big recruit, now part of Alabama's basketball program.
With Aiden going to Tuscaloosa, does that kind of help make the Auburn-Bama rivalry even more than what it is now, like a little bit more to play for?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, it'd be like if Auburn's quarterback went and played quarterback for Alabama. What do you think that would do to the Iron Bowl? You know, it would make it more interesting and continue to just add to the rivalry.
It'll be interesting to see how Holloway factors in minutes-wise, but there's no doubt for 2 games this year, he will be a big talking point as you get ready to watch Auburn play in Tuscaloosa and Alabama play in Auburn.
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, but primarily when it's at Neville Arena, he is going to catch hell. And, I mean, he's got to know that because he saw when he was an Auburn player, what those fans did to opposing players.
Yeah, look, and, I think there is a high ceiling when you look at him. I mean, Holloway was a guy that came in and he just couldn't hit perimeter shots. And, we would have Stephen Pearl on every week and he was like, this guy hits him in practice. So you just wonder, if he gets shooters around him, gets more comfortable, builds some confidence, definitely worth the flyer to bring this guy in. You saw how good he was in high school.
Bruce also got asked about there's a big game coming to Birmingham, it feels like, us. Everyone keeps talking about it. We just don't know who it's going to be yet. Bruce gets asked about that as Auburn basketball continues to go around and meet the fans.
Kind of an announcement about a game in Birmingham yet, but I can tell you that we got a potential for a big game in Birmingham in December, and we're working on it. Contracts I don't think are quite done, but it'll be a game and an opponent that we could actually sell the building out.
Yeah, so 17,000 for a big game and some that, an NCAA tournament team.
Hey, so that shirt, Rocky, pull it back.
That's a good-looking shirt. I was thinking the same thing.
I was going to say if you turn the color scheme and you went with instead of the orange, it would look like Gleek.
Gleek.
A little bit.
Yeah, it really was. From the Wonder Twins?
Yeah.
Gleek, and then you got
Hall of Justice?
Yeah.
Yeah, all I was thinking was now Rockstar, now that Bruce isn't pinned down by that Under Armour contract, he's like, let me focus on this gear now.
Well, this is the logo they unveiled on the T-shirts back during. It's off of the old Post-Herald Birmingham News Mr. Neely, I think was his last name, that drew the cartoons. That
Feinbaum didn't draw those?
That they actually came from
him and Ben Cook.
They actually came from. That's how Albee was designed, was from these drawings, and it's a great looking logo. And did Forrester? Did you not get that T-shirt at some point?
Little T did too.
Yeah, it was a hoodie. It was like a little T-shirt hoodie. I did not get one.
Yeah, Little T, she got one as soon as she could.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a good-looking gear there. But to your point, Brown, at some point after I think one more year, they ditch Under Armour and they go to Nike, and you'll see all sorts of new gear.
You guys want to guess who their home and home is going to be with? Or the one in Birmingham?
Yeah. If I had to guess, I would probably start with Brown. You want to go first? Or do you want to keep it under wraps? Let's keep it under wraps.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to determine.
Do you guys know it?
I've been told who it's going to be, but I'm honest to goodness, I think I'm violating a confidence if I say it, so I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to be the...
Well, I haven't heard. I'm just going to say Gonzaga.
I'm not going to be the media guy that is told, and it's in the chat room. I'll just go and tell you that. The chat room is well aware of it.
Yeah.
There's a chance they got a good player drafted last night.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
I'll tell you this, they'll be good again.
They'll be good again. And it is, Auburn could play the entire Final Four from last year. They're going to play Alabama twice, if that's who that is. And then there's a chance, I haven't seen, they haven't unveiled who they play in those games. They're right there in the preseason tournament that they're in with UConn.
In Maui?
Yeah. I don't know if they've unveiled the matchups just yet.
I don't know if they have or not.
But there's a chance Auburn could beat UConn, so they could play the entire Final Four. There's your hint.
You're leaving off NC State.
Are they in a tournament with NC State?
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, that's the show today. We're back with you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central Time. Don't forget the Pennant Grace Talking Braves Baseball, leading you into afternoon day baseball for the Braves, goes at 12:15. That's live here in our studio on all of their platforms. So get ready for a live Braves and Major League Baseball talk coming up with Emily Grace and with Ush as well. And a new Uncorked. I just saw it. It came across my timeline. New Uncorked. Episode 11 has dropped as well with Taylor Korn as she reacts to life at her pace and style. That's all with Uncorked. And a new War Down Pods and Roll Tide Pods for you at Disrupt the Media. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.